What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. This is episode number 591. Episode 591. This is January. Jesus Christ, it's July. I'm wanting to celebrate Christmas in July, for Christ's sake. It is July 13, 2018. That is correct. It is Friday the 13th, folks. Friday the 13th, so hopefully that, this day doesn't give you any bad juju or anything of that nature. This is the day in which the Knights of Templar were betrayed by the monarchs, and, we don't want to go into all that esoteric stuff. But anyway, before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody, please, spread this show link around like wildfire, all right? Throughout the internets and throughout the world. And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And it's very easy to remember. All you have to do is type this right here into your browser. All you got to do is type ghost.report. All right, it's that simple. Ghost.report. That is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet. And that's on Gab, folks. That's the only social media that I truly have. Any other social media on any other social media networks is a bunch of crap. All right, it's a bunch of crap. So follow me on Gab, folks. It is the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet today. You can get there by typing in your browser gab.ai. And you can follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, okay? Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And by the way, if you have not, I'm going to tell you something right now, okay? If you are not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, you are missing out on some internet history-making tomfoolery. I'm just telling you this right now. For all those that have not been keeping up with the Gab and what yours truly has been doing since the last time I broadcasted, folks, the capitalist army has exposed who QAnon is, folks. That's right. We exposed who QAnon is, and we did it all in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It was glorious. It was unbelievable. Now, I'm going to talk about this later on in the broadcast. We're going to talk about who QAnon is, what the capitalist army and our investigations have found out. It is an expose like no other. It is unbelievable. Once again, we exposed QAnon. We called the person that we're going to talk about later on. He answers the phone. Well, actually, he doesn't answer the phone. His grandmother answers the phone, and I ask for this person. The grandmother suggests it's a little late, and I apologize, and I said, can you just please wake him up and tell him it's about QAnon? Anyway, the guy gets on the phone. He goes, yeah, what's going on? And I say, hey, what's going on? So-and-so, his real name. And he knew right off the bat that he was busted. He's like, what's going on, troll? And all I ask him, the first thing I ask him, are you QAnon? And this son of a bitch, instead of denying it, instead of like going on about what the hell am I doing calling him or anything of that capacity, he acts like snot knows about it and goes, it's QAnon. I'm calling the cops, and hangs up. Anyway, folks, we have pretty much validated that this is QAnon. I know there's a lot of people out there that suggested that QAnon is, some military intelligence guy that's next to the president at all times, who actually tapped the president to become president to prevent a coup d'etat. let me tell you, if you don't know who QAnon is, do your research before we get to the segment when we talk about it, because I can't believe that people believe this garbage. I cannot believe it. But we're going to talk about who QAnon is, what the capitalist army have investigated. And by the way, we did this all in the damn True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. And if you weren't there to witness it, well then, by God, you missed internet history in the making. But I'm going to be honest with you, the capitalist army, we're always making history in some regards. I don't want to get into the past internet political shenanigans that we've gotten into, but you can go look it up for yourself, all right? But anyway, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, it's very simple, okay? Follow these directions and you can be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room and, you know, be privy to some of this internet tomfoolery that we like to conduct ourselves into. What you do to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room is go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name so I can give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and you can be privy to some of this tomfoolery, all right? You can be privy to this stuff. It was glorious, for Christ's sake. But anyway, folks, before I get into QAnon exposés and any of the other news, before I get to the financial news, I want to talk about an interesting subject on this Baller Friday. I don't know if you're familiar with this story. It's been going around the internets. The True Capitalist Radio chat room and the Inner Circle are making all kinds of memes. Unfortunately, remember, you know, there's a lot of kebab people. Kebab. Not kebabs, macabre. There's a lot of macabre people that, you know, like to make memes out of stuff. It's the internet. It's a joke. It's all for fun. Nobody's meaning anything by it. But anyway, this story, I don't know if you folks have been hearing about it, of a body of a murdered teenager that was displayed at a funeral home sitting upright playing video games. Did y'all hear about this? I mean, I shouldn't be laughing because it's macabre, but I mean, you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up, folks, okay? Now, I'm going to read you this story. This is out of the Independent in the UK. It's the first one, the first article I could grab up. It's by Harry Cockburn. I'm not even joking. That's the name of the guy who wrote this article. His name is Harry Cockburn. I'm not joking. The name of the article on the Independent is called Body of Murdered Teenager Displayed at Funeral Sitting Upright Playing Video Games. And once again, the story is by Harry Cockburn. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit of this because I want you to get a grasp of what the hell is going on at this funeral, okay? The family of an avid gamer, quote-unquote, who was murdered in New Orleans, displayed his body sitting upright in a chair with a PlayStation controller in his hands, snacks at his side, wearing his favorite basketball jersey and flip-flops in a unique memorial service. What? Wait. I'm not kidding, okay? I know you're probably taking a triple take at, you know, whatever listening device that you're listening to this broadcast from. Let me continue. Renard Matthews, 18 years old, was shot dead while he was out walking his dog 2 weeks ago. Oh, that sucks. His family said that they wanted him to be surrounded by the things he loved for his final send-off. Now, first of all, the tragedy of this kid dying is bad enough. 18-year-old kid shot dead while walking his dog. I mean, that's a pretty bad tragedy. But the reason I'm bringing up this, and obviously, folks, these are African-American or black people that are conducting this type of funeral. What I don't understand is you got an 18-year-old kid, very tragic, goes out, walks his dog, gets killed, shot. And you know what's really macabre? Not the fact that I'm laughing at this, not the fact that the Inner Circle of the True Capitalist Radio chat room are making memes about this. What's really macabre, folks, is the family that thought that this kind of a funeral was suitable or even concocted out of a mind of a mother or a father or a family. I mean, whoever concocted this idea, I think is the most unbelievably disgusting, macabre thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, the reason I bring this up, folks, is because we have a lot of discussions on this broadcast about the so-called white privilege, and we've talked about how it's not about white privilege. Whenever you see minority groups talking about white privilege, they don't understand what that means. It's not anything to do with privilege. It's how one sees family values. And because most white folks are Christians, most white folks are family-oriented folks, most white folks, it's just based on the numbers, raise their children and leave their children with something, White folks always leave their children with property, with money, with a college fund, with an inheritance, with an insurance policy, something. And this has nothing to do with white privilege. It has everything to do on how one sees their children. This is a family values issue. That's what I've always debated on this broadcast. I mean, I've talked about how you compare the family values of your average white family and compare it to your average black family. Your average black family, folks, is broken. Your average black man or black teenager or black adolescent is being raised by a single mother. And I hate to be stereotypical, but I just want to reinforce this. I mean, you all know the stereotypical black woman. You get confrontational with them, all of a sudden they go oh, you motherfucker, no you didn't, oh no, motherfucker, and then all of a sudden they start throwing a ruckus, they get violent. I mean, I'm not saying all black women are like this because, once again, I mean, obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but like I've always said, a group is defined by its majority. And if you still think what I'm saying is a little bit, prejudging or prejudice when it comes to black women, I ask you this. Would you sit there and argue with a black woman with the risk of them becoming, on a propensity level, violent, loud, obnoxious? Or would you just say, all right, whatever, and walk away? I'm sure 9 times out of 10 of regular, average, everyday Americans, they want to walk away. And you see, and I'm talking about black women, know this. That's why many black women, their first defense mechanism is to act loud and act obnoxious, potentially violent. And who's looking at these black women act a fool? Who's looking at these black women getting loud and violent and actually watching people not wanting to have anything to do with them? I mean, I just posed the question to you right now. Would you want to be in a confrontation with a black woman? And I guarantee 9 times out of 10, you would say no. You would want to just walk away, as opposed to sitting there arguing and escalating it into an obnoxious scene or a potentially violent situation. And as I stated, I mean, who is watching these women do this? It's the black boys, the black children, the black males that are watching their black mothers act a fool, and that's what they're witnessing is a defense mechanism when it comes to life. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that I am suggesting that there is no such thing as white privilege, that it's based upon family values and how one views their children. Now, listen, and the reason I'm being a little bit racial in presenting the family perspective of different minority groups is because this is where the root perception of white privilege comes from. It comes from the fact that most white children, not all, because listen, there's a lot of white people in America, okay? I mean, a good almost, I would say 45% of them are on welfare. But remember, they're the majority demographic in the country. And, they don't ever talk about the poor white folk living in, white trailer parks. And they don't talk about the poor white folks living in, ranch houses. And, they don't talk about that. But what they do talk about is they talk about the white privilege. And I'm trying to debunk white privilege because there's no such thing. It's whether your family values are consistent with not only loving and nurturing and properly raising a child, but building some kind of a nest egg to bequeath to your child, giving your child some inheritance. So right off the bat, right when they're in everyday life, they are already set up because their families cared enough about their offspring to leave them what it is that they wanted to leave them. That is not a privilege. That is the hard work and dedication of the parents that left that child, whatever it is they left that child. There is no privilege to that. It's family values. And you see, I just talked about how black women, they tend to, whenever they're confronted, whenever they're in a confrontational situation, they get into, the proverbial, oh, motherfucker, no, you didn't. And everyone out there that's listening, you're already thinking in your head, would I want to get into a confrontation with a black woman? Of course you wouldn't. That's their prime modus operandi defense mechanism, is to just get loud, obnoxious, and violent. And meanwhile, their offspring, their black males, are watching this and using this and remembering this. And hence, I think that there is a direct correlation with black women raising black male children and not only ending up in prison, but ending up dead. And I think at some point, folks, if you want my personal opinion, the black problem, and I hate to single out the black demographic in America, but they seem to be the ones that are more crying racism than any other race in this country. And I just want to tell the black folks, maybe you need to understand that it's not whitey keeping you down. It's not white privilege keeping you down. It's not the man keeping you down. It's your own black women that are raising you and that are not appropriately teaching you how to be a human being. Once again, it's not about white privilege. You could still be a poor white family and still have good family values. It's not about anything other than family values. And unless the black folks starts recognizing this, they're going to continue this perpetual gag reel of impoverishment, of broken homes, of embracing ghettofied lifestyles. And whether or not you're somebody on the left or black listening to this and suggesting that I may be throwing some shade or being racist, I'm being real. I'm being real. Now, the reason I bring up these family values and black women and black families is because let's go back to this poor young man who had his carcass displayed upright in a reclining goddamn office chair, sitting next to some, I don't know what the hell, diet root beer. Oh, no, that's root beer with some, what is this, chocolate chip cereal underneath with some hot Cheetos. And this guy's wearing a Kyrie Irving jersey. A Boston Celtic Kyrie Irving jersey. And he's got Kyrie Irving socks on with flip-flops. All right? And they displayed this poor young man's body in this capacity. And why do I bring this up? Because, folks, I personally believe that the black women in black America are the most evil and sickest people on the planet. And I base this on their actions, not on any kind of prejudged notion. I want you all to know that the most abortions that have taken place in this country have taken place with black women. As a matter of fact, black women have killed more babies and have killed more black people, black lives. Let's put it this way. Everybody's talking about Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black women with abortion have killed more black lives since 1973, since Roe versus Wade, have killed more black lives than every other method of killing black people combined. I'm talking AIDS. I'm talking murder. I'm talking lung cancer, heart disease, sickle cell, you name it. Whatever ailment that kills or ends the lives of your average black person since 1973. Abortions, okay? Black mothers killing their children. They've killed more of their own children than black people have died in every capacity combined. I'm not kidding. You can look this up for yourself. So, okay, they have no problem utilizing abortion as some kind of method of birth control or contraception. And right off the bat, that's pretty desensitizing. That's a pretty desensitizing thing. And then you take into consideration the way that black children are raised. Now, how can we get a little bit of a glimpse in how black children are raised, especially us white folk who aren't privy to black families? Well, all you have to do is take a look at these black comedians who always, all of them, all black comedians always kid around and make comedic jokes about how violent their black mothers were. How they would beat their asses right in the middle of a goddamn store, and anybody who talked garbage to them would, shut up, bitch, you're next, motherfucker. And this is predominant in black comedy. It's like a common joke in a black comedy skit. You know, Chris Rock talks about it. Cat Williams talks about it. All black comedians talk about how black mothers kicked the living shit out of them, took out switches and belts and shoes and sticks, and they beat them with anything, and beat them for no reason. And you see, folks, you don't think that has a little bit of a desensitizing effect on both not only the child being beat, but of course the psychotic black mother? Now, I don't mean to get into all this hyperbole, but I want everybody to have a foundation and understand where I'm coming from when I make this criticism about this poor kid, Renard Matthews, 18 years old, shot dead while he was out walking his dog 2 weeks ago, and his family had the audacity. I mean, this is the first thing that came through their head. My baby got killed while he was out there. He was walking his dog. My baby. He got killed, baby. My baby. I love my baby. You know what we gonna do? We gonna do it the way Renard wanted. We gonna put him in his favorite chair. We gonna put his favorite hot Cheeto and root beer next to him. Make sure he had a PlayStation control in his hand. He's upright. He's playing NBA 2K18, and he's out there with a Kyrie Irving jersey because he loved that Kyrie, baby. He loved that Kyrie. And he put Kyrie socks on the feet. We gonna put on Hey, what kind of a macabre, sick, fucking desensitized mind do you have to have as a family, as a mother, for you to think that this kind of a fucking mourning is okay? They've got this poor kid. I'm looking at him. If you haven't looked at a picture of this shit, I strongly advise you to do a goddamn search. It is pathetic. This brother dead. He dead. This brother dead. He's sitting there playing basketball on the goddamn PlayStation. He dead. He's got hot Cheetos and motherfucking root beer next to him. He dead. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, think about this for a second. What kind of a desensitized mind do you have to have when your 18-year-old son gets killed walking his dog and you think that this is a fucking good idea? This is a joke. This is sick, for Christ's sake, man. And I'm going to tell you, black folks should be pissed off, but you know what? They're not. They're bamboozled with my racism, my racism. Malcolm X would be sick to his stomach if he was alive to see you black folks today. You know that? And you know the sad part about Malcolm X, even though he tried to be a moral leader for his black people in America, his own black people killed him. So that should tell you something. I'm just saying, that should tell you something. Anyway, look, I didn't mean to get off on this big hyperbole about this, but folks, if you have not seen the picture of what the hell is going on with this poor kid who is propped up, his body is embalmed. He's propped up on an office chair. He's got a fucking PlayStation controller in his embalmed hand. He's got like a little, I don't know, a little, I guess a coffee table next to him. I don't know, a little stool. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's holding his root beer and it's holding his hot Cheetos. And underneath it, it's got like chocolate chip cereal. He's wearing a Kyrie jersey uniform. Kyrie Irving jersey from the Celtics. He's got Kyrie socks on with, I mean, this is just unbelievable, man. I mean, if my son died at 18 years old, the last thing I'd be thinking about is, man, remember when my baby used to play in a video game there with a Kyrie Irving? He always loved Kyrie. I mean, this is how desensitized black people are getting. And listen, this is very sad. You black folks should be a little concerned that this is how desensitized you are when it comes to death, and not only death, but death of people that you supposedly love around you. I mean, you black people need to do some soul searching. This is unbelievable, and I can't believe that, well, I guess I can believe it, but I hope that the black folks that are listening in understand that the last thing right now in modern day America that you should be worried about is racism. What you need to be worrying about is your own ignorance destroying your community. And why do I say your ignorance? Folks, black folks, you have embraced gangster rap as an extension to your culture. And folks, gangster rap was created by Jewish and white elitists in Los Angeles. It has nothing to do with black culture. I mean, do y'all remember prior to the NWA albums and the Chronic album, do you remember what black culture used to be? There was no violence in the music. There was no violence in the music. You didn't hear black people talking about busted caps and pimping hoes and drinking 4 O's and smoking Philly blunts. You didn't hear that shit. It wasn't until these sellouts who sold their souls to the folks in Hollywood, a la Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Snoop Dogg, all these sons of bitches, when they started producing this garbage, that's when you started seeing all this prevalent gangster rap culture. And now, black folk, for whatever reason, are incorporating gangster rap culture as a part of black culture itself. And I think, I think Malcolm X would be fucking pissed off if he saw that. That's all I'm saying. I think he'd be pissed off. And he's probably rolling over in his grave right now. If Malcolm X was here, he'd probably look at you black folk and said, man, I'm eating poke again. Fuck this. I'm eating poke. Give me a motherfucking sausage, man. Fuck this. Look at these motherfuckers. So anyway, now that we got that all out of the way, I'm telling you, if you have not seen the picture of this kid, this 18-year-old kid who is he's upright. He's embalmed. He's upright. He's got a PlayStation controller in his hand, root beer, hot Cheetos next to him. You have to literally look at this. It's unbelievable. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and talk a little bit of finance. Let's talk a little bit of cryptocurrency here. The cryptocurrency markets, since we've been gone, have taken a contraction. Why? The dollar. I keep saying it. The dollar is king of fiat currency. But today is a little bit different, folks. We are finally starting to see a bounce back. We're seeing a bounce back as we speak, for Christ's sake. Everything seems to be pretty much in the green. I want to talk about a few cryptos that I had suggested to look out for in the past couple of weeks that are in double-digit percentage increases. But first, I want to tell everybody that the dollar today is down. The U.S. dollar spot index is down 0.16%. So because we're seeing a decrease in the dollar, we should see some increase in the cryptocurrency market capitalization factored in probably within the weekend. This is a trend that I've seen within the past couple of weekends. We should see more people come into the market because we're seeing a contraction in the dollar, and this is why we're seeing green here now. The current market capitalization right now for cryptocurrency is $248 billion market capitalization. Okay? $248 billion market cap. Now, let's talk about some cryptos here. Once again, Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Everybody seems to be so certain that it's going to hit $20,000 or $60,000 at the end of the year. I'm starting to believe that the media is trying to will Bitcoin to get to those high prices. If you want my opinion, folks, the reason that we've been seeing such low prices in Bitcoin, which is translated into low cryptocurrency prices when it comes to the altcoins, these futures that were introduced into the traditional financial markets of Wall Street. These Bitcoin futures. And the reason I say that, folks, is because with futures trading, this is the type of instrument in Wall Street in which you can make an investment on whether or not a given commodity, stock, indice, whatever the case might be, whether it goes up or down. And because there are now Bitcoin futures as a financial instrument in Wall Street, you have a lot of folks buying into the fact that Bitcoin is going to go down in price. And because cryptocurrency is mostly an unregulated industry, it's very easy for folks that are holding Bitcoin to sell Bitcoin to bring that price down. And I think that's why we haven't seen that much of a bump in Bitcoin, because we have a lot of futures traders in Wall Street that have a financial incentive to make sure that this damn thing is down. Now, they're going to bring it back up. And I think that all this media hype that I'm hearing from all these so-called experts, when they're talking about Bitcoin up to 60 grand, Bitcoin will be 80 grand by the end of the year, all this crap, I personally believe that the media is trying to will Bitcoin back in. And we may, like I said, we may see an increase. I've been talking about it here for the past several shows in Bitcoin, and it'll be based on pure speculation only. There's no reason to be holding Bitcoin for the long term, in my opinion. I think we're going to see one more big increase. People are going to cash out. Hopefully it'd be one of y'all folks that are listening. And I think that's it for Bitcoin after this next run. But let's get to Bitcoin here. BTC is the symbol. Current market capitalization for Bitcoin is $106 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.1 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone up 0.41% increase in the 24-hour period. Current price for Bitcoin, symbol BTC, $6,236.17 per Bitcoin. Let's get to Ethereum, ETH. Once again, folks, we may see another increase in ETH. There's a lot of reasons for this, aside from the fact that this is the second known cryptocurrency on the top of mind when it comes to most cryptocurrency investors. The second paired crypto when it comes to exchanges, cryptocurrency exchanges. It's the first kid on the blockchain when it comes to smart contract technology. But there are a lot of coins using the ERC20 token, which is Ethereum's base token, that are really making some waves out here. We're going to talk about a few of them here in a second. And I think that within itself could also keep up the price on Ethereum, because you got some, QRC20 tokens, that's ERC. ERC20 is the Ethereum-based token. ERC20. And there's a lot of ERC20 tokens right now that are taking off, and I think that's what's going to fluff up the price of ETH here for at least the next year or so. So, I'm calling for at least a safe play. I'm not necessarily a buy or bullish on Ethereum, but it is a safe play. because of the ERC20 tokens that extend beyond Ethereum being popular and actually doing shit. And we're going to talk about a few of them. Let's get to Ethereum, ETH. Current market capitalization is $43 billion market cap. The circulating supply for Ethereum is 100 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum has gone up 0.86%. Current price for Ethereum, $433.78 per Ethereum. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash, which has really decreased here in the past contraction, which looks good as far as buying is concerned. Now, what makes Bitcoin Cash better than Bitcoin is the block size. The typical block size for Bitcoin is about, I think, a megabyte. I think maybe a megabyte and a half. Bitcoin Cash's block size is as big as 32 megabytes, which means that it can process, I believe, 230-something transactions a second, which makes the transaction speed very, very rapid. And as a result, the Bitcoin Cash transaction fee is not that expensive. As a matter of fact, it's pretty cheap, considering that you have this high, fast transaction speed when it comes to Bitcoin Cash. As I stated, it's a decent looker when it comes to an alternative to fiat. I like when these prices of Bitcoin Cash are at this low, because we don't want a real high Bitcoin Cash price. This Bitcoin Cash could be an alternative to fiat so long as it's under around $3,500. If it goes over $3,500, forget about it. We're in Bitcoin territory, over speculation, and it's, and I hate to say it, over speculation can ruin a coin. It can ruin a coin. I think that's what's happening to Bitcoin. It'll happen to Bitcoin Cash if it gets over 3,500, etc. Because when it comes to currencies, you want something that's somewhat stable. Especially if I'm a businessman, and if I'm going to take cryptocurrency, I want to make sure that that currency isn't going to drop 40% after I take it for a payment, So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to Bitcoin Cash, symbol BCH. Current market capitalization is $12 billion market cap for Bitcoin Cash. The current circulating supply is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone up 1.40%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, $696.29 per Bitcoin Cash. Let's get to Litecoin, folks. Litecoin, symbol LTC. Current market capitalization is $4.4 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 57 million in circulation. Like I said, Litecoin is a decent alternative to fiat too, but who knows with the creator Charlie Lee and his, chopstick-loving spurg ass. Anyway, Litecoin has gone up 0.38% increase in a 24-hour period. Current price for Litecoin is $77.04 per Litecoin. Let's get to some other coins here. Let's get to Monero. Monero XMR. Current market capitalization for Monero is $1.9 billion market cap. The current circulating supply for Monero is 16.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone up 1.49%. Current price for Monero, symbol XMR, current price $122.45 per Monero. Let's get to Dash, folks. Dash, I like Dash. DASH is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $1.7 billion market cap. The current circulating supply for Dash is 8.1 million in circulation. Very low circulation. In the past 24 hours, Dash, not Bitcoin Cash. Dash has gone up 3.08%. Current price for Dash, symbol DASH, $218.45. $218.45. Let's go ahead and get to Zcash. Now, what did I tell you about Zcash here, right? I said it's a buyer. I said it's a winner. And guess what? It is finally going up. And the reason it's going up, folks, is because Coinbase has announced that it's looking into adding Zcash, adding 0x, which is another goddamn coin I told you all to look at, They are entertaining Stellar and Cardano. Cardano? Get the hell out, Cardano! But anyway, with that news, folks, we saw Zcash take off today. And I told you guys, this is a coin I like. A lot of investment, privacy component. They just updated their blockchain, had a hard fork. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Zcash, symbol ZEC. The current market capitalization for Zcash is $762 million market cap. The circulating supply is a low 4.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone up 13.20%. Good God! 13.20% increase. And by God, I'm glad I'm mining Zcash. I'm glad I got a good chunk of it. Zcash, current price, the symbol for Zcash is ZEC. Current price, $175.44 per Zcash. I'm telling you, I told you. Let's go ahead and take a look at Quantum, symbol QTUM. By God, folks, I am gobbling up Quantum at these prices, man. I'm not even joking, and so is the Inner Circle, so is the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man. Gobbling it up, man, like we're fucking Warren Buffett. Buying chunks of it, man, just huge chunks of it. Why? Because it's dirt cheap, first of all. Secondly, it's a proof-of-stake coin. Like I said, we've got people in the Inner Circle that are getting stake payments just by leaving their Quantum in their Quantum Ignition wallet and leaving it on. It's as simple as that. You're getting paid Quantum for holding Quantum in your wallet. You can't beat it, baby. Good God. And then on top of that, folks, you have a bunch of airdrops coming in. We recently had a QRC20 airdrop of Bodhi, B-O-T. All right, you got 4 Bodhi for every 100 Quantum you were holding in your wallet. So, I mean, I'm just saying, man, this is the coin of the future, all right? Look into it for yourself. I'm not hyping this son of a bitch, man. I mean, they put a node in space. They're expanding their nodes to 50,000 here in the next year and a half. It is going to be the biggest coin with the most amount of nodes in the world. 50,000. I think currently, what is it? I think Bitcoin has about 10,000. I think Ethereum has about 13,000 nodes. So this is going to be a coin of the future, and I strongly advise everybody to entertain this for a long-term investment. The Capitalist Army, the True Capitalist Radio, chat room, the Inner Circle, we're all doing it, baby. There's a lot of people in the 500 club. That means 500 Quantum or more. And listen, folks, right now we're at a very cheap price for QTUM. The highest that it's ever gone is 103? $103. $103 it went on January 6th, 2018. So just imagine, we got a lot of people holding the bag all the way to 103, and I think 103 is just the beginning price. If you take a look at how much Ethereum rose in value, I mean, this is better than Ethereum, folks. I'm telling you, the Quantum coin, it's got its own token, the QRC20 token. It uses smart contract technology, and uses a completely different virtual machine that it created itself, the x86 virtual machine. I'm telling you, man, this is the future. Just watch. Just watch. I'm going to keep gobbling up more QTUM while everybody's out there like, what? Wow. Oh. Anyway, QTUM, market cap right now, $678 million in market capitalization. The current circulating supply is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, QTUM has gone up 0.37%. Current price for QTUM, I'm telling you, a very, very low $7.65 per QTUM Quantum. Good God, baby. I'm gobbling. I'm going to buy some more right after I get off the broadcast, man. I'm not even kidding. All right, let's get to 0x, folks. What did I tell you about 0x? ZRX, I said that Coinbase had acquired a exchange called Paradex, and Paradex utilized 0x's blockchain technology in its exchange. And I said since Coinbase acquired Paradex, that 0x was going to be, or at least had to be, integrated in some capacity to Coinbase, and ta-da! 0x is going to be added on Coinbase's list of coins to trade on its exchange. All right, so let's take a look at how that impacted the price. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Let's go ahead and take a look at 0x, ZRX. Current market capitalization for ZRX is $508 million market cap. The circulating supply for 0x is 534 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, 0x has gone up 17.69%. Good God. Current price for 0x, ZRX, current price 94 cents, baby. 94 cents. And let me get to another one. What did I tell you about Basic Attention Coin, folks? BAT, Basic Attention Coin. First of all, what did I tell you? That this coin has its own browser in which it's integrating its coin into, so that it'll provide a new opportunity for content seekers to compensate content creators. And I think that this is way on the cusp of innovation. I think that this is going to be a new way for individual content creators to be able to maintain sustenance, to maintain sustenance out here. So with that being said, Basic Attention Coin, I always liked it. It has its own browser. What is another reason I like it for? It's going to be added on Coinbase. Oh, that's right. Basic Attention Coin, BAT. I've got a whole bunch of this stuff, man. I bought Basic Attention Coin when it was like 10 cents. All right, I'm not even kidding around. Just a whole crap load of it. Take a look at Basic Attention Coin. Market capitalization is $330 million market capitalization. The circulating supply right now for Basic Attention Coin is 1 billion in circulation. In the past 24 hours, get this, Basic Attention Coin has gone up 23.08%. Good God! And I think it's going to go all the way up. I hope it pairs itself with the U.S. dollar, because that would be more likely, it would be more suitable, especially if it's going to be a compensation for content creators, which I think the intention was for Basic Attention Coin. Basic Attention Coin's current price, symbol BAT, 33 cents, baby. 33 cents. And we're going to go ahead and end the cryptocurrency coverage on that one on this Baller Friday, because I don't want to go over time. We got a lot of things to talk about in this broadcast, and I want to make sure to give equal and ample time to everything. So now that we've gotten cryptocurrencies out of the way, let's talk a little bit about stocks. Now, as we see, folks, we're going into a Friday. And typically, especially when there's uncertainty in the air, Wall Street likes to sell off on Friday because they don't want to be holding anything while the market's closed. But just the fact that we are seeing positivity in the stock market shows that Wall Street believes in the president. Wall Street believes in the president. Because remember, we're in the middle of a trade war, remember? We got a trade war with China. We've got Canada flexing its maple leaf loving nuts. We've got the EU. We got Mexico. We're in the middle of trade negotiations and trade wars, and yet it's not affecting the stock market one bit. And you want to know why? Wall Street believes in Trump. And why does Wall Street believe in Trump? Because a capitalist is running the White House, all right? A capitalist. I told you when Donald Trump came into power that this was a capitalist revolution. I told all of you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the stock market. Not to mention, I also said pure bullish on the stock market for 2018. And look at what's happening, baby. Look at what's happening. Dow Jones Industrial, let's take a look at it, all right? It is up. Dow Jones Industrials closed on the upside, 94.52 points, a percentage increase of 0.38%, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,019.41 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. The S&P is up 3.02 points, a percentage increase of 0.11%, closing out the S&P at 2,801.31 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also closing on the upside, 2.06 points, a percentage increase of 0.03%, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,825.98 points for the NASDAQ composite. Now let's go ahead and get to some commodities here, folks. Now, we did talk about how the U.S. dollar has gone down a slight. It is down 0.16%. Let's see if that is reflected in the commodities prices. Let's take a look at energy. We talked about it on Wednesday, how the OPEC and Saudi Arabia are deciding to raise their production levels. And I think this is in hopes of preventing Donald Trump from working out a deal with the Russians for some new oil. But let's take a look at the WTI sweet crude prices. They are up a quarter for WTI, a percentage increase of 0.36%, closing WTI sweet crude at $70.58 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude up today, 88 cents. A percentage increase of 1.18% increase. Current price. Jesus Christ. Current price of Brent crude oil is $75.33 per barrel of Brent crude oil. You got to forgive me, folks. I want to be honest with you. I'm 10 days without any alcohol. All right. Now, I've been having some unfortunate, horrible side effects from it. I was under the impression that, hey, look, I've been drinking every day for about 10 years. Let me just go ahead and stop and take a break. I didn't realize that getting off of booze is more dangerous than getting off of drugs. And to be completely honest with you, folks, I didn't realize it was so dangerous. So if you hear me a little off, that's because I'm already 10 days in, and we're going to keep on going. Listen, I'm not going to stop drinking. I just need to take a little bit of a break. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to clean out. You got to let the insides kind of be like, all right, we're not taking booze now. All right, that's good. Let me go ahead and heal this up. Let me heal up the stomach. Let the liver kind of heal itself up and repair itself. So, I'm having anxiety attacks and, heart palpitations and, all kinds of stuff. So, bear with me if it sounds like I'm having trouble. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to gasoline, all right? Gasoline futures are up 1.16%. We've got natural gas down today, 1.39%. Heating oil up 0.25%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals, all right? We've got gold down today, $4.80, a percentage decrease of 0.39%, closing out gold at $1,241.80 per troy ounce of gold. Let's go to silver. Silver is down today 14 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.89%, closing out silver at $15.84 per troy ounce of silver. We've got copper unchanged on the day today. We've got platinum. It is down 1.52% on the decrease. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture, shall we? Let's go ahead and get to agriculture. Grains Corn is down 1.25%. Wheat is up, man, 2.58% increase for wheat. Oats is up 0.21%. Rough rice is up 0.55%. Soybean is down 1.77%. Soybean oil is down 1.05%. And canola is down 1.56%. Let's get to the soft, shall we? Cocoa. Cocoa is down. Or excuse me, actually it's up, man. The cocoa, the base for chocolate is up. 1.13% increase for cocoa. Coffee is the one that's down.
Let me drink my coffee. I'm a fruit ball. Let me drink my coffee. I'm a fruit bowl hipster. Let me have my coffee.
Shut up! Coffee is down 1.48%. Sugar is down 1.08%. Orange juice is up 0.72%. We've got cotton down 0.79%. Lumber is up 0.12%. We got rubber up 0.58%. And ethanol is down 0.71%. Let's go ahead and get to livestock, shall we? Live cattle, baby, it is down 0.21%. I wish that was reflected in the goddamn meat markets out here. All right, I mean, all these goddamn grocers know that all us Texans like to go out and barbecue during the summer, so they hike up the goddamn cost of meat. But I'm looking right now at the commodities. Meat is down. Beef is fucking down. Trying to take advantage of Texans who like to have a decent goddamn barbecue every now and then. Anyway, live cattle is down 0.21%. Cattle feeder is also down 0.20%. And lean hog, baby. And once again, I'm going to ask you all one more time to be a part of the ham bone movement. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, all you've got to do, whenever you see these fat jelly-ass, back tits sporting, cellulite dripping off their ass and ears, fat jelly-ass jerk nits that are out here waddling around, that are rolling around in their hover-rounds. You know what I'm talking about, rolling around in their damn hover-rounds. Whenever they back up, they do the whole sound. Beep, 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 beep. I'm not asking you to confront them. I'm not asking you to harass them. All I'm asking you to do is just pass by them, all right? Just pass by them. You don't even need to look at them. Just pass by them and say, Hambo. I mean, it's that simple. We got to make America beautiful again. I'm sick of looking at fat asses using hover-rounds to buy more sugar, salt, and fat. I'm sick of it. All you got to do is pass by these sons of bitches. All you got to do is pass by them. Don't look at them. Don't confront them. Just say, you fat, greasy-ass, stinky-smelling, back-tit-sporting ham bone. Come on, man. Please join my hand and let's join the ham bone movement. God damn it. We need to make America beautiful again, for Christ's sake. God damn it. There's too many fat fucks walking around America. Or it may be because I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and that's why we call it San Hambonio, because there's so many fat asses walking around out here in San Hambonio. I mean, I'm serious, man. We got a lot of fat fucks walking around out here in San Antonio that can't even put the fucking fork down for about 5 minutes. And let me take a sip. As a matter of fact, I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking some, high quality H2O. And we'll be back to alcohol someday, but you got to clean it out, man. You got to be all right. You got to chill out with the booze every now and then. That's some high quality H2O. Anyway, lean hog is up 2.50% on the day, and that, my friends, is the markets for your ass. All right. I hope you're having a good Baller Friday! And for you folks that are unfamiliar with what Baller Friday is, it's the day of the week in which capitalists look back upon their week's success, their labor, their wages, their creativity, whatever it may be, and bask in their success. That's what Baller Friday is about. Happy Baller Friday to all the capitalists throughout the world. Anyway, folks, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody who's listening right now to please spread this show link around like wildfire. If you're listening to my voice, then you're listening to the underground. You're listening to the underground, God damn it! Spread it around! Spread it around! Spread it around like wildfire! It's Friday the 13th, for Christ's sake! Spread it around! And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now! Ghost.report. That's all you have to type into your browser right now, ghost.report. And by the way, folks, I want to thank a few people once again. We are selling yours truly's autograph. For those that don't know, I am selling an autograph of yours truly. How to purchase it, folks? Let me go ahead and put the video that'll give you instructions on how to purchase it. Now, I know people are thinking this is a little unconventional that I'm using Gab as a means to, sell the merchandise or to sell the autograph in question. But as I've stated, folks, we on the right wing, we're being persecuted. We're being banned. People are trying to come at us. They're trying to stop us. They're trying to prevent us from maintaining any kind of content or monetizing any kind of content. So by all means, take a look at the video that I just posted on my Gab right now. Look at my Gab! Check out my Gab! Politics Ghost. And there's a video that says how to purchase a Ghost autograph. And as I stated, you're going to get an autograph. I'm looking at them right here. Okay, on the front, you're going to get the 2018 Ghost Avatar with my autograph in gold, baby. All right, I hand freaking autograph each and every one of these. On the bottom of it, it's going to say, give me capitalism or give me death. On the back, it's going to say True Capitalist Radio at Ghost.report. And it's going to have a microphone icon. And on top of that, we are going to mail you as well a Spaten bottle cap. I'm telling you this right now. I have officially drank and popped each and every one of these Spaten bottle caps. Even though I'm not drinking anymore, I got over 1,000 of them. I collect them all. Now that we've got Germany over here trying to flex nuts, trying to put in tariffs and all kinds of stipulations on goods, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there as well as the autograph. And now I want to remind you folks, okay, I was going to send these autographs yesterday. Unfortunately, the manila envelope, I'm going to be sending them in a manila envelope, folks. And I want you all to look out for it, okay? But first off, I want to let everybody know that Templeton got a hold of the manila envelopes and started gnawing at them. It's your quintessential dog ate your homework kind of thing. But he started gnawing at the manila envelopes. And, some of you may or may not get an envelope with a little bit of a frayed envelope flap, because Templeton decided to get in and start gnawing on them, all right? But I am sending all of the autographs out tomorrow that have been purchased, folks. I'm going to be up late tonight and tomorrow, signing them and putting them in the envelopes. And on the manila envelope, because a lot of you folks didn't actually put names, your names on them. So be on the lookout. Once I send them tomorrow, it may take a week or two, depending on where you are in the world. It may take a little longer if you're a little farther from the United States. It will be sent regular mail. All right, regular mail. Be on the lookout. Don't let your mommy or daddy take it and throw it away. I'm going to decorate the manila envelope. We're going to have, it's going to have like a USA kind of a stamp on it. It's going to be kind of decorated, a manila envelope that's decorated. So be on the lookout for it. I'm going to send them all out tomorrow. And I do want to give a shout-out to a couple of people that have purchased some today since we've last talked to each other here. I want to give a shout-out and props to those that purchased an autograph. I want to say thank you, Capitalist America. Thank you, Las Vegas. Thank you, Andrew 40. I also want to say thank you to Kevin Coe. Kevin Coe, believe it or not, has purchased six autographs. He's a great fan. Thank you very much, man. I know you've been ordering everything that we've ever put out throughout the years. I just want to tell you personally that you are very much appreciated, and thank you very much. Thank everybody. Thank everybody who is purchasing an autograph, because aside from supporting the show, you're also supporting Gab, folks. And I'm actually trying to help Gab a little bit because Gab is just as independent as myself. They've been attempted many times to be taken down. They've been attempted to be sued. They've been called all kinds of nasty things in the media. And to be honest with you, man, I want to be able to give it back. All right? I'm just going to be giving it. I just want to give it back. Somebody just gabbed at me. Why would I want your autograph? Because your mother wants my autograph. All right? Didn't do Jankum. Yeah, didn't do Jankum. That's a fucking trunk. Get that asshole out of here. Shut up! Anyway, once again, take a look there. And listen, those autographs are going to be taken down next week. So they're only for a limited time. We're not going to be, selling them forever. Okay? And as a matter of fact, once they're taken down, folks, I'm not going to sell them again. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a couple more shirts, since everybody likes wearing shirts. I'm going to be honest, I don't really make too much from the shirts itself. I make more money, obviously, from the autographs, but everybody likes shirts. Now, I know that we still have the True Capitalist Radio shirt available, and we do have the Remove Kebab available. I don't know if y'all know that we do have a shirt, Remove Kebab. I don't know if y'all are aware of this. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and post it on the Gab account right now so you folks can, just in case you're curious. It's very, very cheap, by the way. I made sure to make sure that this Remove Kebab shirt was very, very cheap because, I think it's like $14. I think I make like $2 a shirt, $3 a shirt, But I think we should see more Remove Kebab shirts, I'm not even kidding. Here, let me go ahead and put it on here. Remove Kebab. There it is. Go ahead and do it. Let me see if we can get this on the Gab account here, folks. We got it. Remove Kebab. There it is. Take a look at my Gab. Anyway, we're going to go ahead, after the autographs are taken down this next week, we are going to put 2 new shirts up. I'm going to tell you that one is going to be POTUS based. So everybody who loves POTUS, you are going to love this next shirt that we're going to come out with, man. And another one, I'm just going to leave that up. I'm just going to leave that one a secret. All right. Anyway, thank you guys once again, Kevin, man. I appreciate it. I love you, man. Thank you very much for supporting the show all these years. You're very much appreciated, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the broadcast, shall we? All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the president, since we're, sitting around talking about how we're going to put out a pro-POTUS shirt. Let's go ahead and talk about the greatest president in American history, the modern-day George Washington. I'm talking about none other than Donald Trump, okay? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but he was just in the UK, and, man, he is rocking the UK with Brexit, man. I'm telling you this right now. Prior to going to the UK, he did an interview with The Sun. The Sun is a UK publication in which he criticized May and criticized the current version of Brexit that she was trying to initiate. And what was funny is that, I've checked and kept up to date with the Brexit deal as often as I can, but ever since Trump criticized her, all right, it seems that Theresa May, I don't know, put more into the Brexit deal. And I want to be honest with you, the joint press conference that her and the president had today had me believing that maybe Theresa May got a decent deal if the EU is going to agree with it. I mean, it pretty much separates England from the EU. No free movement, she said. Independent laws outside the EU jurisdiction, so you're not under the EU courts. You're going to have independent fisheries, so that was a big deal for me. Even though I'm not even an Englishman, I would be like, wait a minute, you know, you're breaking up with the EU, but you still got to share your fisheries, you still got to share your commerce. Nope, all that is done. I think no VAT tax. I mean, what Theresa May described in the press conference from Donald Trump sounded like a decent Brexit. It sounded pretty decent. Now, like the president said, the only thing that he was concerned about is whether or not the United States was going to be able to trade with the UK. Because if they're still under the jurisdiction of the EU, right now the United States is having a little bit of a trade dispute with the EU. And if Theresa May is going to still allow the EU to dictate its trade policies, well, then it's going to be impossible for the United States to trade with the UK. And that's why Donald Trump was suggesting that maybe we won't be able to trade with Britannia because, you know, if you're going to still fall under the EU jurisdiction, the EU and the United States are having a little bit of a tariff war at this point in time. So we might not be able to trade. But I want to be honest, I watched the press conference between Theresa May and the president today, and it sounded very positive. If I was a Brit and I heard what Theresa May said, now I'd want to know that all that was going to be certain. I mean, you know, these politicians can say anything. But I liked what Theresa May said about the Brexit situation. It seems pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's full-fledged Brexit, but it's probably the best deal that has come out. And hopefully Britannia, hopefully they appreciate it. Okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because if they don't appreciate it, then they're just going to go back right into the EU anyway. Now, as the president was visiting the UK, you had a protest in London, of all places. Oh, that's great, isn't it? Old London stand, the same city that voted in a Muslim mayor and can't realize that there's a correlation between a Muslim mayor and the increased Muslim terrorism that they're having in London. They don't get it! But anyway, they had a protest in London because of the president's visit. And to be honest, folks, it wasn't all because of the president. I mean, I had seen some coverage of some independent media of people going up to individuals out there in this protest, and there were people there for a lot of different reasons. For environmental reasons, for communist reasons, for socialist reasons, you know, for pro-EU reasons. There was not a given reason why everybody was out there. It was not all anti-Trump. If there was a common theme in the London protest, folks, it was anti-capitalism. It was anti-capitalism. Everybody that the interviewer went up to at this London protest of the president in the UK, they were all anti-capitalist, and that is very disheartening when it comes to the potential future for the UK. Even if they do have a decent Brexit deal, if you've got a population that is anti-capitalist, then what kind of future does that country have? Seriously. I mean, seriously, man. Anyway, once again, I think that it was the criticism of the president that kind of made Theresa May kind of throw the stipulations in this Brexit deal to make it more palatable of a Brexit, man. I want to be honest with you, I was rather pleased. I was rather pleased when I heard May and the description of the new Brexit, all right? All right, and people are saying the button doesn't show up. Hey, you have to click the actual link to the video. For those that are trying to purchase the autograph, click the actual link to the video. Don't just view the video on the post. Click the actual link. All right, click the link gab.ai/tv/watch/18436. Sorry about that, folks. But once again, I think the criticism from the president actually helped the people of Britannia, because I think they got a lot more for Brexit than they were initially thinking of with the Chequers Compromise. So, good luck to Britannia. I hope they get what they want. But it doesn't seem like they want Brexit. It seems like they want communism, and they want it as fast as possible. It's sad. It's really sad, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Later on in the day, the president, aside from meeting Theresa May, met with the 92-year-old Queen Elizabeth. And I don't know if you saw that, but what a bunch of pomp and circumstances, right? I mean, you had the Queen's Guard out there, doing their little routine, and the president going up to the Queen. Hey, how you doing, Queen? And, oh, I'm doing great, yes, and all this crap. I want to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of monarchs. I think monarchs are a prehistoric, primitive form of social organization, and to acknowledge monarchs is acknowledging a primitive time in history that I think we should all forget. I mean, we are living in modernity, for Christ's sake. We should have no appreciation for any kind of monarch. That's my opinion. Remember, I'm an American. You remember, we had a revolution against the monarchs, and we don't want to have nothing to do with them. We don't believe in kings and queens, and we don't believe in bloodlines ruling a country for 900 years. We don't believe in that crap over here, right? But anyway, he met with the 92-year-old Queen Elizabeth and did the whole pomp and circumstance. Now, after he gets done with the whole hoopla in the UK, he plans on going to Scotland. To one of his golf resorts. As a matter of fact, it's his only golf resort in Scotland. He's going to go hang out there for the weekend, play probably a round or two of golf, and then he's off to Russia to meet Putin, Vladimir Pooty-Poo. And this is going to be a very interesting meeting, folks, because one thing I did appreciate the president saying, he alluded to this in the Theresa May press conference, is that he's going into the meeting with Putin with low expectations. But he is trying to keep things positive, and I do agree that we don't want direct confrontation and war with Putin. But at the same time, I don't trust Putin. I think he's one of the most unscrupulous characters on the world stage. He's a thief. He's a liar. I don't trust Putin as far as I can throw him. I think that he is probably one of the most disgusting people in the world stage today. And it's because this idiot tries to pass himself off as such a brilliant leader when all he did was remove the oligarchs of Russia, expelled them, took their money, and now he's worth $160 billion. And I don't like people like this. I don't like people like this. I don't like people who fake being pious. I don't like people who fake being nationalist. I don't like people who fake being religious, because that's exactly what Putin's doing. He's faking that he's Orthodox Christian or Orthodox Catholic, or whatever the fuck religion that Russian Orthodox Church is. We all know that he's a communist. He killed for communism. He was a part of the KGB, for Christ's sake. He killed for communism. Now he believes in God. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, once again, after the weekend of golf in Scotland, which probably the president needs after going through the NATO summit and then meeting with Theresa May and the Queen, he's going to meet with Putin on Monday. And they're going to talk about a lot of different things. Obviously, they're going to talk about the Crimea situation. They're going to talk a little bit about Iran, Syria. Probably going to talk a little bit about energy. I wouldn't be surprised if President Trump made some kind of energy deal with Russia to offset the influence of OPEC. A lot of things could be done. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Art of the Deal master can do when it comes to this manipulative KGB bureaucratic piece of weasel crap, Vladimir Putin. And I think the president should have the right to go out there and be able to negotiate, talk. If things go right, fine. If they don't, they don't. I mean, that's how the art of the deal works. But, on the potential, what are we, this is Friday, he will be meeting with Putin on Monday. So the weekend before the president meets with Vladimir Putin, guess who comes out with indictments on supposed Russian hackers? None other than Robert Mueller's special counsel. And guess who decided to, make the press conference to announce this? None other than the Department of Justice Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Yep, Rod Rosenstein came out, and listen, I don't think this is an accident that the DOJ and Robert Mueller's investigation put out these 12 indictments for Russian hacking of Democrats in 2016, supposedly. And, I find this rather bizarre, because Robert Mueller is claiming in these indictments that these 12 Russians were in charge of DC leaks. Y'all remember DC leaks? And Guccifer 2.0. And that these 12 hackers, some of them would obtain the information, the others would distribute the information. Now, what I don't understand is, how the hell does the FBI and the DOJ know that these supposed Russian hackers were the ones that hacked the Democrats in 2016? Because don't we remember, folks, that when the Democrats got their emails supposedly hacked and released, didn't y'all remember that the FBI wanted to investigate the Democrat Party servers, and the Democrats refused to have the FBI investigate their servers? Do y'all remember this? If y'all don't remember it, well, then Google it up. Google up DNC refuses FBI servers 2016, okay? The Democrats refused to allow the FBI into their servers. So what did the Democrats do? They sent their servers to their own independent computer analysts, and whatever their findings were, which obviously is this supposed 12 Russian hackers that are being indicted today, is what this independent computer analyst company found. Once again, I mean, this is very complicated, but you need to understand. These 12 indictments that are come out from Robert Mueller's special counsel that were announced today by Rod Rosenstein, okay? The basis of these indictments are the Democrats being hacked in 2016. But how do the DOJ and the FBI know that it was Russian hackers when it wasn't even their computer forensic guys that even investigated the Democrat server to begin with? I repeat, the Democrats refused. They absolutely refused to allow the FBI to investigate their servers. They sent their servers to their own investigative people, and whatever their findings were, they forwarded those findings to the FBI. And, folks, in my opinion, I think that's what this indictment is all about. It's based upon the findings of whatever independent computer forensic people that the Democrats hired. This is who they implicated in the Democrats' hack. I want you all to remember this. I mean, folks, Google this damn shit up yourself if you don't believe me. Like I said, Democrats refuse FBI server 2016, and you should be able to find articles that have said that the Democrats refused to allow the FBI to investigate their servers. So, I want to be completely honest with you folks. I think that the announcement by Rod Rosenstein today, indicting 12 Russians with hacking the Democrats in 2016, is pure crap. And it's based upon the computer analysis of independent contractors that were investigating the Democrat servers themselves. This is not based on the analysis of the FBI and its forensic computer guys. And by the way, even though they indicted these 12 Russians, what were they going to go get them? This was pure theatrics. This was to take away the attention from not only the Peter Strzok theatrics, and we're going to talk about that later, Peter Strzok's testimony in a joint session in front of the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees, but this is also to throw a bone right before the president is about to meet with Vladimir Putin. I mean, this is unbelievable. These are sick political games here. Sick-ass political games. And why the Democrats are allowed to get away with this is very easy, folks. They're the ones who co-opted and politically weaponized the Department of Justice and the FBI at the highest levels. That's why Hillary Clinton has a different form of justice in which she can get off scot-free by hiding classified documents in a private email server that was compromised by foreign governments, that was picked up by the FBI. I mean, we heard, and we're going to talk about Peter Strzok's testimony, we heard from Peter Strzok himself that yes, some of those classified documents that were on Hillary Clinton's private server were compromised by foreign governments that were not Russia. And we're going to talk about that. Where is the justice for Hillary Clinton? I mean, this woman should be in jail. The reason she's not in jail, folks, is because, as I stated, even going back to March 2016 when I came back and did this broadcast, this woman knows where the bodies are buried. She has the skeletons on everybody. That's why all these people have to do these unscrupulous things for her, because they're afraid she might unearth some skeletons about them, or they might get suicided or whatever. So once again, I just want to reiterate that this DOJ announcement by Rod Rosenstein indicting 12 Russian hackers, and that's another thing. I mean, this government is making Russia and Russia hackers look like supermen. I'm not kidding. They're making Russian hackers look like, the overlords of the internet. They are not. They are absolutely not, for Christ's sake, but you couldn't tell by our media. I mean, the term Russian hackers is getting so goddamn scary. You tell that to anybody, people are going to go, oh, Russian hackers? Russian hackers? Russian hackers? 12 Russian hackers indicted for hacking the 2016 Democrats. Folks, this is all for show. None of these 12 indictments are ever going to culminate in any arrests. This is all bullshit. And not to mention, if they're basing this hacking information, the hacking evidence based upon the Democrats and their third-party computer forensic people, then this is another gross attempt at abusing justice. Because how the hell are you going to pretend to indict 12 Russians that some third party told the FBI were the culprits? The FBI didn't investigate the goddamn hacked DNC servers. Don't you understand that, folks? The DNC, the Democrats, refused to allow the FBI to investigate. So how does the DOJ, how does fucking Robert Mueller, how does the FBI know that 12 Russian hackers hacked the Democrats in 2016? It's crap. It's fake news. It's bullshit. It's corruption. It's criminal. It's the swamp. It's the Washington, D.C. deep state fucking swamp. And that's why those of us that are politically and economically and socially aware, we cannot stop being political. Do you understand? We have a responsibility to be political because this government is made for the people and by the people, man. This is why we have to take politics serious. This is why. Because we have unelected bureaucrats that'll pull these bureaucratic games and pull the wool over our eyes with nothing more than bureaucratic hyperbole and legalese. And we can't allow them to do that. We need to demand justice. We need to demand justice, and we need to demand that no one is above the law. No one is above the goddamn law. Makes me sick, man. Makes me fucking sick. And especially, let's go ahead and talk about above the law. Since we're talking about above the law, let's talk a little bit about above the law. Let's talk about Peter Strzok. That's right, Peter Strzok, the FBI super agent that was going to save the country from Trump. Oh, I'm going to save the country from Trump. Let me tell you something about Peter Strzok. What a fucking asshole. All right? I'm not kidding around. What a arrogant, smug, pompous jerk-ass who believes he's above the law. That was Peter Strzok's testimony yesterday. Had a little smirk on his face. Had his little smug attitude thinking he was above the law. And folks, the reason he thinks he's above the law is because, let's be honest, he's the FBI. Not only is he the FBI, he is the head of counterintelligence at the FBI. Not to mention, he was the lead investigator on both the Hillary Clinton email scandal and the Russia-Trump investigations. This asshole, Peter Strzok, Mr. Anti-Trump, Mr. I will save the world asshole, was in charge of both of these investigations. And this asshole had the audacity to just go into Congress and claim that he had no bias. Can you believe this garbage? And you know what's even more disgusting? The Democrats. In this joint session of the House Judiciary and Oversight Committee, these Democrats proved that they were trying to hide something. This is what I've always said about the Democrats. They're trying to hide their criminality in relation to all this conspiracy in an attempt to remove Trump. They're trying to remove their liability when it comes to weaponizing the FBI and the DOJ. And you want to know how scared they are before the truth comes out that the Democrats weaponized the highest levels of the judicial branch? They're trying to stop it at every level. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip right now, folks, of the Democrats. For the first 10 minutes, okay? This was during the questioning of the first Republican, of the first person on Congress to question Peter Strzok, Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy was asking him how many documents he transferred from Bruce Orr between a certain date and a certain date. And Peter Strzok, right off the bat, was trying to use his little pompous,
I can't say that because it'll jeopardize an ongoing investigation. I've been advised by my FBI legal team that I can't talk about that. And I'm going to smile in your face doing it because I'm Peter Strzok. I'm above the law.
And Goodlate is the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. He had enough of this, and he was about to put Peter Strzok in contempt if he did not answer the question. And while he was attempting to advise Peter Strzok that if he didn't answer the question, he would be put in contempt, the Democrats tried to obstruct in every capacity possible to stop Peter Strzok from saying anything. I mean, just listen. I want you all to listen. Does this sound like a guilty party to you? Does this sound like a party with something to hide to you? I want you to listen for almost 10 minutes. They try to obstruct and they try to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying. This is the Democrats here, folks. They're trying to protect criminals. That's why I keep telling each and every one of you, if you are a Democrat in 2018, you are pro-illegal immigrant and pro-criminal, because that's all you people argue for. That's all you people back up. That's all you people care about. illegal immigrants and criminals. That's when you get the most emotional. That's when you go out on the TV for an illegal immigrant or a criminal. And I'm telling you, this 2018, if you vote Democrat, you're anti-American scum. There's no ifs, ands, or fucking buts about it. You're anti-American scum! If you vote Democrat, I'm serious, you're anti-American scum. Now, once again, I want you to listen. This was during the Peter Strzok testimony at the very beginning, when Trey Gowdy, who was the first to question him, was asking him about the number of documents that he had transferred from, I believe it was Bruce Orr's office, from a given time to a given time. And, of course, Peter Strzok tried to plead that he couldn't fucking say anything because of this FBI lawyer. And Goodlate, the chair, tried to suggest to them that if he refuses to answer, that he will be brought in contempt. And in the midst of that, you had every Democrat, just listen to these Democrats try to pull excuses out of their ass, trying to pull legalese out of their ass to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying and to stop the testifying itself. This goes to show you these are the only people that the Democrats come out for. Illegal immigrants and criminals. These are anti-American scum. Do you understand that? If you are a Democrat in 2018, you are anti-American scum, and I spit on you fucking people. Puh! I spit on you fucking assholes. You're anti-American trash, and you should be taken out just like trash. God damn it! You make me sick! Anyway, let's listen to the obstruction by the Democrats, pulling out every excuse in the book to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying, all right? Let's go ahead and put that on. Listen carefully. This is the Democratic Party. They are protecting a criminal. They are protecting a criminal. Fucking Peter Strzok belongs in fucking prison, and this guy's smiling like he's above the law. Is there going to be justice? I keep asking, are these fucking people too big to jail? Are they too big to jail? Let's go ahead and take a listen to the obstruction of the Democrats at the beginning of the Peter Strzok testimony. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
The gentleman does not have standing to object. There is no
point of order.
No point of order here. The
point of order should be heard.
Now, this is Goodlate.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
Now, this is Nadler, the Democrat.
My point of order is that intentionally or otherwise, this demand puts Mr. Strzok in an impossible position. He is still an employee of the FBI, and FBI counsel has instructed him not to answer the question.
The gentleman...
If we have a problem with this policy, we should take it up with the FBI, not badger Mr. Strzok.
Listen, Nadler.
The gentleman's point of order is not well taken.
It's right on point.
No, it's not. Mr. Strzok, are you objecting to the question? And if so, please state your objection.
There's Goodlate.
Mr. Chairman, two things. One, I do not believe I am here under subpoena. I believe I am here voluntarily. Second, I will not, based on direction of the FBI
fucking
to
weasel.
me,
Look at this weasel.
Based on that, I will not answer that question. Because it goes
You're
to
a criminal.
Matters which are related
fucking
to the
criminal.
ongoing investigations being undertaken by the Special
Mr.
Counsel
Strzok,
Office.
you have not stated a valid legal basis for not responding to a question directed to you by a member of the United States House of Representatives, and you are overruled.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Here
the Democrats go again. Here the Democrats go.
Essential to this hearing and to our oversight and information gathering functions with regard to the actions taken and decisions made by the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 2016 and 2017. I am specifically directing you to answer the question in response to our subpoena, notwithstanding your objection.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Strzok, please be advised that you can either comply with the committee's directive to answer the question or refuse to do so, the latter of which will place you at risk of a contempt citation and potential criminal liability.
Point of
Do
order.
you understand that?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
The question is directed to the witness.
And I have a point of order before he answers the question.
I mean, listen to Nadler. Listen to
I don't
fucking
know what the point of
Nadler.
order is. You can't say it's not well taken.
Listen to these Democrats.
The witness will answer the question.
Listen.
Mr. Chairman, I raise my point of order, and I insist on it.
What is the point of order?
The United States Attorney's Manual instructs department personnel not to respond to questions about the existence of an ongoing investigation or comment on its nature or progress. In a letter to Congressman John Linder in
this scumbag had this fucking handwritten beforehand. This Democrat, fat Nadler from New York, you're a piece of shit.
Has a clearly legitimate interest in determining how the department enforces statutes. Congressional inquiries during the pendency of a matter pose an inherent threat.
Hey, look, this is one time they try to prevent Strzok from testifying.
Therefore, the question being directed at the witness is out of order. The witness's declination to answer it as against the instructions of the FBI pursuant to FBI policy, which is necessary so as not to allow us to subvert an ongoing criminal investigation. He is right.
What a joke. What a joke. Shut up.
Has not stated a valid point of order. Nonetheless, the United States Supreme Court has recognized that it is unquestionably
here's Goodlake quoting Supreme Court precedent
with the Congress in its efforts to obtain the facts needed for intelligent legislative action. It is their unremitting obligation to respect the dignity of the Congress and its committees and to testify fully with respect to matters within the province of proper investigation.
Mr. Chairman,
they're going to continue on with another excuse. Listen to the next excuse.
If we were to ask a question of a witness about a military secret, if we were to ask him, how does the H-bomb work? He could not answer that question.
Hey, that is absolute bullshit, Nadler, because I want to, and I want to pause it here. That's bullshit because there was testimony in the 70s about CIA secret weapons. And the congressional committee that was overseeing this particular testimony of the CIA superweapons, they brought them all out. I mean, the heart attack gun was introduced during that. I mean, there were all kinds of weapons introduced during that. I mean, the Congress has oversight, especially the Judiciary Committee has oversight of both the DOJ and the FBI. They are privy to whatever information that they are asking for from both of these entities because they have legislative authority over these people. But, you know, I mean, here you have Jerry Nadler out of New York trying to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying. And the reason that they're preventing him from testifying, folks, is because they knew he was going to act like some pompous jerk and he was probably going to unearth some things, which he has. He came into the damn testimony claiming that he was not biased, even though every goddamn text message he sent, unless we forget that he was sending these text messages during FBI working hours on FBI cell phones, which I don't understand why that isn't even a offense that hasn't had this idiot fired and revoked of his goddamn security clearance. But of course, folks, these people are above the law unless we start demanding it in mass, that we want people's heads to roll, that we want Peter Strzok in jail, that we want Lisa Page in jail, that we want James Comey in jail, and we want the investigation of Robert fucking Mueller. They're going to continue to pull the wool over our eyes with a bunch of bureaucratic hyperbole and a bunch of legalese. And that's why I keep telling you, we have to be serious about politics. This is a government made for the people and by the people, but if the people fall asleep at the wheel, we're going to continue to just kind of accept this type of swamp-like activity and just call it normal. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back to the obstruction by the Democrats, and I'm telling you, this is all they were good for, folks. They don't care that there was a politically weaponized element of the FBI and the DOJ because it benefited their party. It benefited them. If you want my opinion, they're culprits in this shit. They're culprits in politically weaponizing the DOJ and the FBI. Go ahead, put it back on.
Same thing. Stated That is a classification issue, not an issue of whether or not this is a valid question for which...
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
Now, you see, he appeals the ruling because Goodlate said that is a classification situation, not what we're doing. Nadler continues to appeal, and then you're going to hear other Democrats appeal in every capacity they possibly can to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying.
You've not ruled. It's not a point of order.
He's ruled that it's not a point of order.
That is not a ruling. Mr. Strzok?
Mr. Chairman, I insist on my point of order, and I insist on
Mr. Strzok.
appealing the ruling of the chair.
Mr. Strzok, knowing the advice that
Point of order,
Mr.
Chairman. Point of order. I believe there's a point of order that's been raised, and you've ruled we have a right now to answer Mr. Nadler's.
It is not a valid point of order.
These are the Democrats. This is Democrats for you. Listen to these guys.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Strzok.
Mr. Chairman, I appeal the ruling of the chair that you have just made on that on whether the
you have not stated a valid point of
and
order.
And that is your ruling, and I appeal it.
That is not an appealable
point of order. Yes, it is, Mr. Chairman. Appealing the ruling of the chair is exactly what he's requesting. He's appealing it. That requires a vote to either sustain it or overrule it.
The gentleman from New York has not cited a rule of the House that is being violated. Therefore, it is not a point of order.
That's your ruling.
That ruling of the chair.
Mr. Chairman.
This is disgusting.
Is it not appropriate to also interject the...
And now listen to what this broad says. This Jackson broad. Now they've tried to rule a point of order. It's been overruled. They tried to suggest that it's a classification issue. It's overruled. Now you've got Jackson over here. She's gonna claim, what about client attorney privilege, baby? What about client attorney privilege, baby? Listen.
The attorney-client privilege, which cannot be overridden, and is a rule of the House to the extent that witnesses have the right to an attorney-client privilege in this House.
Man, this is disgusting. This is fucking disgusting. How anyone can vote for these people is beyond me. I mean, listen to them trying their damnedest to prevent Peter Strzok from testifying so it doesn't make them and their party look like the criminals they are.
Is what this witness is asserting, attorney-client privilege, and he has been advised not to answer the question.
The gentleman will suspend. The gentleman has not raised the attorney-client privilege. He has said that he's been instructed by the FBI not to answer the question. Now,
by lawyers.
He knows the advice I have just given him. If he would like, I'll restate it.
And what I like about Goodlate, he said, look, I'm not taking this shit. Strzok, if you refuse to answer the question, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
But knowing this, will you answer the committee's question as directed, or do you refuse to answer the committee's question?
Point of parliamentary inquiry,
the ruling of the chair.
And here come the Democrats again. I mean, do you understand? This is all the Democrats are good for. They don't care about law-abiding American citizens. They only care about illegal immigrants and criminals. Look at their actions. Look at their actions. Peter Strzok is a fucking criminal that should be in prison.
That
point of parliamentary inquiry
was not in order.
It's not recognized. There's no rule.
Point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman from South Carolina has the time. A parliamentary inquiry is not in order during the gentleman's time. The chair is instructing the witness to answer the question. And the question to you is,
Mr. Chairman,
will you answer the committee's question as directed, or do you refuse to answer the committee's question?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Second.
You're not recognized for that purpose.
I mean, listen, now they're trying to end it. You see that? They're trying to end the whole goddamn committee proceeding. What a bunch of useless pieces of shit these Democrats are. Anybody voting Democrat, I'm serious, you're anti-American scum. I mean, you walk away, all right? If you're a Democrat, just walk away. Don't even show up to the polls, because you're going to be promoting this type of riffraff that does nothing for our country. They've done nothing for our country. They're protecting a criminal, for fuck's sake.
Mr. Chairman, I think you have no choice but to recognize such a motion.
I do not have to.
Mr. Gowdy's Mr. Gowdy's home is not...
Are we just going to make up rules as we go along?
Shut up, Democrats.
The motion is not in order during the time controlled by the gentleman from South Carolina.
I appeal that ruling of the chair.
Jesus.
Mr. Strzok.
These are Democrats!
Will you
Chairman,
answer?
I appeal your ruling of the chair that my motion to adjourn is not in order.
The gentleman is not in order.
That may be, but I appeal your ruling.
The gentleman is not recognized.
Just take back over your time and inspire away.
Knowing this, will you answer the committee's question as directed, or do you refuse to answer the committee's question?
Mr. Chairman,
This little smug
as you know,
fucking
counsel
look.
for the FBI has directed me not to answer questions about the ongoing investigation. As you also know, counsel for the FBI...
This guy has a smug look on his face. He's smiling. And take a look at what Goodlate tells him.
is sitting here behind me. May I consult with them?
You may consult with your own counsel.
But I may not consult with the FBI's counsel?
Only with your own counsel.
Mr. Chairman, there's no basis for that. He can consult with the FBI counsel. He's an FBI employee.
The gentleman is not recognized.
And the chairman is not being proper.
The chairman is being proper.
The witness can't be directed not to confer with his attorney.
The FBI is not his attorney. His attorney is seated behind him. If he wishes,
He's an employee of the FBI,
If he's already done, he may do so.
And his attorney may consult with the FBI attorney?
Isn't the privilege that of the FBI, and shouldn't the FBI counsel be solicited on that point?
You just take that over right now. Just let Trey have it. Just get this out.
Oh, my God. Let me listen to this shit. Peter Strzok.
Mr. Chairman, my counsel has reiterated that counsel for the FBI has directed that I may not answer that question.
Mr. Strzok, in a moment we will continue with the hearing, but based on your refusal to answer the question at the conclusion of the day, we will be recessing the hearing, and you will be subject to recall to allow the committee to consider proceeding with a contempt citation.
A point of order, Mr. Chairman. Will the committee also consider contempt for Mr. Bannon, who refused to answer Mr. Gowdy's questions when he was actually under subpoena?
Jesus Christ. Now they want to bring in Steve Bannon. I mean, do you understand? This is what Democrats are all about. Bitching and moaning. They're not getting to the bottom of anything. They're trying to protect criminals. They're trying to protect illegal immigrants. And why anyone would be fucking supporting these people is beyond me. You people need your head examined if you are supporting any one of these pieces of bureaucratic crap. I'm not even joking around. But luckily, there were some people in the House, especially from Texas, that we're going to lay it on old Peter Strzok. And I want to get one more clip in, and then we're going to move on. But this is Louis Gohmert. Louis Gohmert confronting Peter Strzok, and I think this was probably the sound clip of the whole goddamn testimony. Go ahead and roll it, folks, and listen good. It is classic political theater comedy, but Louis Gohmert has a hell of a point, and I hope that it stung goddamn Peter Strzok right in his craw. Go ahead.
From Texas, Mr. Gohmert, for 5 minutes. That would be right here, Sir Strzok. You said earlier in this hearing you were concerned about a hostile foreign power affecting our election. Do you recall the Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCulloch having an investigation into an anomaly found on Hillary Clinton's emails?
I do not.
Well, let me refresh your recollection. The Intelligence Community Inspector General Chuck McCulloch sent his investigator, Frank Rucker, along with an ICIG attorney, Jeanette McMillan, to brief you and Dean Chappelle and 2 other FBI personnel that I won't name at this time about an anomaly they had found on Hillary Clinton's emails that were going to and from the private unauthorized server that you were supposed to be investigating. Now, do you remember it?
I remember meeting Mr. Rucker on either 1 or 2 occasions. I do not remember the specific content or discussions.
Well, I'll help you.
Oh, I don't recall. I'm the head of the investigation, but I don't recall about the anomaly told to me about Hillary Clinton's email. I mean, do you understand, folks? This is fucking criminal. This is why the Democrats did not want Peter Strzok to testify, because they knew that this asshole was going to be a cocky prick and basically just leak out the fact that Hillary Clinton got a second form of justice that isn't privy to us regular folk. Go ahead.
With that too, then, Mr. Rucker reported to those of you, the four of you there, in the presence of the IG attorney, that they had found this anomaly on Hillary Clinton's emails going through her private server. And when they had done the forensic analysis, they found that her emails, every single one except for 4, over 30,000 of them, were going to an address that was not on the distribution list. It was a compartmentalized bit of information that was sending it to an unauthorized source.
Boom.
Do you recall that?
Sir, I don't.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't fucking remember it. Because you were in the fucking purse of Hillary Clinton. You, James Comey, and all the Department of Justice. This, my folks, I'm telling you this right now. If there is no justice, then we live in a banana republic. If this guy doesn't go to jail, if Lisa Page doesn't go to jail, if Bruce Orr and his wife don't go to jail, if James Comey doesn't go to jail, then there is no goddamn justice in this country, folks. Wake up! The only way we're going to get justice is if we demand justice. Because as I stated, this is a government made for the people and by the people, damn it! It's made for the people and by the people. So we got to raise up. We got to raise up, for Christ's sake, and we got to demand justice! We got to demand justice from these evil fucking criminals that are supposed to be in charge of protecting us. That's what Peter Strzok was supposed to do. He was head of counterintelligence at the FBI. He was supposed to be protecting us. Yeah, he thought he was protecting us by trying to remove a duly elected president from office. I'm telling you, man, if this guy doesn't go to jail, then what kind of a fucking country are we living in? Keep going.
Well, he went on to explain it, and you didn't say anything. No. You thanked him. You shook his hand. But the problem was that it was going to an unauthorized source that was a foreign entity unrelated to Russia. And from what you've said here, you did nothing more than nod and shake the man's hand when you didn't seem to be all that concerned about our national integrity of our election when it was involving Hillary Clinton.
That is correct, Gomert. And I'm glad that you highlighted it, and that's why the Democrats wanted to stop Peter Strzok from testifying. Because I'm telling you, anybody with a brain knows that Hillary Clinton got preferential treatment, special treatment from the FBI outside of anyone else in the United States. And if you don't believe that, you're a fucking idiot. Keep going.
So, the forensic examination was done by the ICIG, and they can document that. But you were given that information and you did nothing with it. And one of the things I found most egregious with Mr. Horowitz's testimony, and by the way, Horowitz got a call 4 times by someone wanting to brief him, leaving messages telling him about this, and he never returned the call. He had 500 pages of bias that he gave us. And then he threw a bone to the Democrats and said, but we can't find bias. And let me tell you, when you have text messages, Mr. Strzok, the way you do, saying the things you did, you'd been better off coming in here and say, look, that was my bias. And you kind of get around to that a little bit when you say, hey, everybody's got political views. Those are called biases. And we all have them. And you have come in here and said, I have no bias. And you do it with a straight face. And I watched you in the private testimony you gave. And I told some of the other guys, he is really good. He's lying. He knows, we know he's lying. And he could probably pass a polygraph. It's amazing.
Mr. Chairman.
Here come the Democrats. You see, here come the Democrats because Gohmert is telling it how it is. Everybody knows he's lying, and the fucking Congress knows he's lying, but he's going to go in there with a straight face, with that smirk on his face. He is an asshole FBI bureaucrat, deep state jerk dick that thinks he's above the law. We can't allow this guy to go off scot-free. There has to be justice on Peter Strzok. This guy cannot believe that he's above the law. Keep going.
No, this is my
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Point of order. This point of order.
No.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
A member of this committee just asserted that this witness, who is under oath and a former agent of the FBI, lied. There is no evidence that. I ask him to withdraw it.
I do not withdraw it. He is not a member of Congress. It's not a violation of the rule. And just as you have been expressing bias through your members about what a hero is.
There is not a single person on this committee who has ever characterized a witness
gentleman
as
from
lying.
Rhode Island.
Gentleman, it's my time.
That's a disgrace.
Gentleman from Rhode Island will suspend.
No, the disgrace is what this man has done.
The gentleman from Texas will suspend for a moment.
There is the disgrace. And it won't be recaptured anytime soon because of the damage you've done to the justice system. And I've talked to FBI agents around the country. You've embarrassed them. You've embarrassed yourself.
Man.
And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk, how many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about this?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous. Shame on
Mr. Chairman,
you know, sir, this is intolerable harassment of the witness.
What's wrong with that? You need your medication.
The gentleman controls the time.
I ask that the witness be permitted to respond.
He will be permitted.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever talk
I hope that's stuck in your fucking
during
craw.
your investigation, besides the one questioning you mentioned, before that or after that to this day?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. The gentleman will state his point of order.
Oh,
it is,
my God.
I think, against the rules of the House for a member of the committee to be impugning the character of a witness.
It is not.
He should ask questions to elicit. The purpose of this hearing is to elicit information. He should ask questions to elicit information. He should not be impugning the character of the witness.
The gentleman is advised the rules of the House only are directed to members of the House and the President of the United States.
Therefore, in other words, it is okay to impugn the character of witnesses in any way whatsoever?
Well, listen, I've heard many members on your side of the aisle impugn the character of somebody who is covered by the rules of the House. But the gentleman... The gentleman...
Oh, the Democrats, they just don't want to face up to the fact that they break the rules, except when they don't want the rules to be broken. I fucking hate these people, man.
Has 20 seconds left. The clock will be turned back on, and he can complete his time, and then the witness can respond.
So, if you talk to Hillary Clinton, other than the time she was examined in front of the witnesses?
No. So
after throwing away what you have with all the bias you have, you've never even gotten a thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman may respond.
Sir, well, that's quite a set of statements.
Mr. Chairman, I did not finish with a question.
The gentleman...
There was no question asked.
Chairman, he's been given the opportunity to respond.
The gentleman will suspend. The time of the gentleman has expired, and as I've indicated
the rules
earlier,
of our hearings are if there is a question asked during the time, the witness may respond to the question after the time.
The witness is going to be allowed to respond briefly.
That's a new rule.
Sir, first, I assure
no
you.
Question.
Look at this smug asshole. Look at this smug asshole. Hold on, I actually messed up the. Here, I got out of time code here. All right, we're back. I want you to listen just to how pompous, arrogant, and above the law that this fucking Peter Strzok sounds like in response to Gohmert. I mean, just listen to this guy. Man, this is the guy who was in charge of the Hillary Clinton email investigation and the Russia-Trump investigation. And he has the audacity to come in here with all those texts and all these emails and claim that he's not biased. What a fucking piece of garbage.
As I spoke also during my interview a week or two ago, I have always told the truth. The fact that you would accuse me otherwise, the fact that you would question whether or not that was the sort of look I would engage with in a family member who I have acknowledged hurting, goes more to a discussion about your character and what you stand for. And what
it goes about your character. You see, I knew it stuck in your craw, Strzok, you piece of crap. And just to think, these are the guys that are hired by the FBI to protect us. We need to disband the FBI. The FBI isn't protecting anybody but themselves. I want to be completely honest with you, folks. The FBI has done nothing. It does nothing but ruin people's lives. I mean, where the hell were they on 9/11/2001? I mean, even Robert Mueller, who was the FBI director at the time, said that, oops, I made a couple of mistakes. I mean, when are we going to hold these goddamn bureaucrats responsible, since their job is to protect America? I mean, you can't get away with this type of incompetence in the private sector. You can't. So, once again, let's go ahead and listen to Peter Strzok once again. This is about a minute, 48 seconds of him being a pompous jerk, thinking he's above the law, and he's sitting here trying to insult Gohmert, even though he is the asshole with the improprieties. He is the ass clown with the text, and he's the asshole with the bias.
Is going inside you.
It's to your credibility, and while you lost your credibility.
You've
lost your credibility.
While I doubt it plays well
gentleman from Texas the gentleman from Texas will suspend. The witness has had ample opportunity to express his feelings about that, and now the chair recognizes...
Mr. Chairman, there is a discussion about the representative's first assertion about what the ICIG said that I would like to respond to.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. I have no recollection of that conversation.
Of course you don't.
I can tell you I am not a computer forensic expert. I can tell you
here come the
allegation that we had.
I'm not a computer expert. Are you kidding me? That's somebody else's job. I'm a bureaucrat. I'm the head. I'm not supposed to know about this stuff. I don't recall.
CIG was a great and close partner. Every allegation that we had, whether from them or anybody else, was forwarded to experts who looked at it. The scores and scores of servers and BlackBerries and emails and everything we got were combed over carefully by the FBI's experts to see if there's any indicia of injury.
But you don't recall going over those emails, correct?
Gentlemen, I have no idea what you're talking about, and frankly,
the witness will suspend as well.
I do not know what you're talking about.
That is enough.
What a lying piece of crap. All right, I've had enough of fucking Peter Strzok. I hope he burns in fucking hell. All right? Anyway, we are now well into the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And it is, all right, that's all you got to do. Type this in your browser, ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. If you're listening to this broadcast, you're listening to the underground. Go ahead, type it in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. All right, and by the way, let's go ahead and let everybody know out there. I want to let everybody know out there that we are selling or yours truly is selling his autograph. All right. You can go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and scroll down to the post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph. All you got to do is click on that link right there, gab.ai/tv/watch/18436. Click on that link, listen to the video, and just follow the instructions, and I will send you I'll send you an autograph. Maybe I'll send you an autograph of yours truly. I want to give props to the Pet Mexican. The Pet Mexican is in the house. He bought an autograph. What's going on to the Pet Mexican? Once again, by purchasing an autograph, not only are you supporting the show, but you're also supporting Gab, folks, which is an independent social media operation that is completely separate from the Silicon Valley oligarchs. Okay, so you'll be killing like 80 birds with one stone there. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and I'm telling you right now, we're gonna talk about QAnon being exposed here in just a second. But we actually called QAnon, and everybody that was in True Capitalist Radio chat room was a witness. It was a glorious evening, for Christ's sake. Everybody had a good time. Everybody who was in the True Capitalist Radio chat room was witnessing fucking internet history, putting an end to this whole QAnon scam, all right? To this whole QAnon scam. But if you want to be a part and listen to the types of internet tomfoolery that we get into in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well then come on down, man. Join the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Join the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's very easy. Listen, this is how you join it, all right? Go to my Gab right now. Go to my Gab, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, baby, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. Make sure to sign up on Discord chat. Give us your Discord chat name, and we will give you an invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. I mean, you've got to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. We're doing all kinds of things in there, baby. And if you would have been in there, you would have listened to us expose QAnon. So let's go ahead and talk about that, folks. Let's talk a little bit about QAnon here. Now that we're going to talk about the infamous QAnon, for you folks that are unaware of who this guy is, QAnon is apparently, and this is according to everybody who writes about this, is supposedly a military intelligence officer who supposedly tapped Donald Trump to be president to prevent a coup d'etat. And supposedly QAnon is like right next to the president all the damn time, to the point in which he's directing the president what to do, like he's a fucking Manchurian candidate or something, okay? Now, who is QAnon? What is QAnon? QAnon is this military operations guy, or this military intelligence guy, who's next to Trump, who, for whatever reason, decides to go on 8chan and 4chan boards and putting these really ambiguous, loose language, abstract posts about things that are possibly going to happen or are going to happen. And believe it or not, folks, you've got so many people believing in these QAnon posts. I mean, I could only compare it to the Nostradamus hysteria. Have y'all ever read Nostradamus? I mean, he writes 4 lines of crap, and supposedly it's supposed to mean that he predicted something in history. And the way Nostradamus writes his 4-liners, it's, once again, abstract, loose, ambiguous language that could have a million interpretations. That's exactly how QAnon posts his posts on both the 8chan and 4chan boards. Now, what we have found out, folks, through a capitalist army investigation, and listen, this is independent journalism right here at its finest, we have found that QAnon and the original poster of QAnon is a 31-year-old furry, I'm not kidding you folks, he's a furry, a 31-year-old furry homosexual poet who is inspired by cartoons. His name, I'm going to go ahead and expose his name because there is general interest into finding out who this person is, why they're doing what they're doing, etc. We have gathered that the individual who is posting the post as QAnon is a man by the name of Dustin Krieger, 31 years old. Now, how did we get Dustin Krieger? Well, 0 Hour, an infamous hacker and he's part of the Trump train, a right-winger on Twitter and other social media, forwarded us some information in which we investigated and found out that Mr. Krieger is QAnon. Now, let me explain to you what this means and how Krieger was able to do this. Now, from our investigations, Dustin Krieger, he hangs out in a Discord chat and in a forum post in which he has about 20 to maybe 25 very close people that are aiding in this QAnon scam. Now, 0 Hour was able to penetrate this particular group and was able to find out the information eventually exposing QAnon. But this group, they brainstorm. It's like a think tank of QAnon. Meaning that, and this is what 0 Hour said in his Periscope, he said that this group likes to talk about tomorrow and what's going to happen in a week and what's going to happen in a month. And this brainstorming, this think tank of thinking things into the future and correlating it with current events is what it's what aided Krieger into posting these QAnon posts. And once they would post these QAnon posts on 8chan and 4chan, the guys and girls that were around Krieger in this Discord chat and in this forum post would all independently go out and promote QAnon in all the free social media outlets. The YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks. And they're the ones that were helping propagate this legend, this idea of QAnon. And because you had Dustin doing the abstract language, ambiguous words, a million interpretation type posts, he was aided by this think tank. And not only was he aided by the think tank on what to actually post as QAnon, but he was also helped and aided by them promoting the legend of QAnon. That's why you see a lot of propaganda on YouTube like, QAnon will save the world. QAnon will save the world. Now, I have taken a lot of heat from people on the right suggesting that,
hey, Ghost, why exactly are you doing this to somebody on the right wing, man? I mean, so what if he's a 31-year-old furry homosexual poet who was inspired by cartoons? So what, dude? I mean, he's bringing people to the movement. He's bringing people to pro-Trump.
You fucking idiots. If you want my opinion, first of all, let's just take your argument for a second, okay? That this person is bringing in people to the movement. If we're just going to bypass and overlook lies like that, then that is going to snowball into accepting another lie and another lie and another lie until we become like the Democrats, until our side becomes like the left, where their whole premise, their whole platform is lies. The whole goddamn platform is lies, and that's what we cannot accept on the right. We cannot accept lies like this, even if they are supposedly aiding the movement. Because that's what leftists do. We're not leftists. We're not leftists. We're not fucking leftists. And that's why I had to expose QAnon, because this whole idea of QAnon being a fucking military intelligence guy, having his hand up the ass of Donald Trump and telling him what to do, undermines Trump. It undermines what Trump has done. It undermines Trump's presidency. And to be completely honest with you folks, our investigation suggests to us that the group around QAnon and even Dustin Krieger himself may be leftists. They may be leftists trying to LARP as QAnon to make people look, especially on the right, make people on the right look like idiots. You know, to make people on the right look like idiots. Now, we've done extensive research into Krieger's background since he is QAnon. He's 31 years old. He has a furry or I should say a Furfinity profile that goes back to 2006. And on that Furfinity profile, he has poetry on there. And that poetry sounds eerily similar to what QAnon's abstract posts are like. So this guy knows how to frame language in a way in which it could be abstract and interpreted by anything. Okay? Secondly, he is a homosexual. Now, not that there's anything wrong with being a homosexual. I believe that Matt Drudge is a homosexual, but he's still on the right wing of the political persuasion. But we have found love letters on the internet to his homosexual lover, who he calls his pet, his love. And unfortunately, his gay lover died in a car accident. And as a result, he's probably a little broken, whatever the case might be. Maybe that has something to do with the extensive criminal record that Dustin Krieger has. Now, you can get all this stuff on the internet. This is all public knowledge, public information. For anybody that wants to search this, you just have to go and look for it. But this Dustin has an extensive criminal record from charges of marijuana possession, to charges of bringing a controlled substance to a child care center. I'm not kidding around. To cyber stalking. So this guy has an extensive record, and this is why we have to bring this to light. We can't allow 31-year-old leftist losers that are living with grandma manipulate groups of people on the right, because I think, in my personal opinion, and our investigation has pointed us to the fact that these people that are the QAnon think tank and Mr. Dustin himself are a bunch of leftists trying to make right-wingers look like idiots. They're trying to make right-wingers look stupid. Because I have found nothing in Dustin Krieger's background that suggests that he is of the right wing of the political persuasion. Now, I want to get even a little further into this, folks. I mean, look, I want to be honest with you. You know, if you cross the capitalist army's, crosshairs, we're going to find out everything about you. We have found out everything about Mr. Krieger. We found out that he likes furries. He likes cartoons. Okay? And what this all comes down to is this. I personally believe that this QAnon, and this is from our investigations, okay, that QAnon, this character that's been made up by Dustin, goes back to his cartoon-watching days. Now, one name that he likes to put as his handle online is Xantos. Now, Xantos, folks, now, don't ask me how I know about this. We had to go through some extensive research in the True Capitalist Radio chat room to find all this out. But Xantos is the bad guy or the bad character on the cartoon Gargoyles. And guess what Xantos and his specialty is? He is the keeper of knowledge and information. He belongs to the Illuminati, etc. Okay? I mean, I'm not joking. This whole QAnon crap goes back to this idiot's cartoon days. I'm telling you. Good God. And not to mention, this guy is a big Star Trek fan. Yeah, a big Star Trek fan. And aside from Xantos, the bad guy from Gargoyles, and, how the bad guy from Gargoyles is a purveyor of information and a part of the Illuminati, etc. But we've made some interesting connections with the QAnon, and not just Star Trek, but a character on Star Trek called Q. Yeah. And he has a bunch of Star Trek accounts, Star Trek forum posts, etc. So this is why we know about all this, okay? This is like 3 or 4 days of extensive work. We had at least 12 to 15 people in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I mean, just searching far and wide about everything about this guy, okay? So, there's a character on Star Trek called Q, okay? And people who have watched the show says it bears some resemblance to the way QAnon portrays himself, okay? Now, let me go ahead and let me play you a clip. Let me play you a little clip here. Let me go ahead and put it up first before I, start segueing to it. But I want everybody to know what the character of Q on Star Trek is about. Okay? I mean, because this is where all this, hidden character making comes from when it comes to, when it comes to goddamn this QAnon character. Now, I'm going to play you a clip called Q Playing God. Q Playing God. Because this is what this character was. Apparently, he was a godlike character that had all the information in the universe, etc. Once again, going back to, I've got all the information. I'm the purveyor of information. I know everything. Yeah! Here, go ahead and play it. Here is a clip. It's called Q Playing God from Star Trek. Go ahead.
Welcome to the afterlife, Jean-Luc. You're dead.
Dun dun dun. Come on, let's get to the point here. Sorry about that. Fucking Trekkies.
Q, what is going on? I told you. You're dead. This is the afterlife. And I'm God. You are not God. Blasphemy. You're lucky I don't cast you out or smite you or something. The bottom line is, your life ended about 5 minutes ago under the inept ministrations of Dr. Beverly Crusher.
No. I am not dead. Because I refuse to believe that the afterlife is run by you. The universe is not so badly designed.
Very well. If you really require more evidence of your post-mortem status, I guess I'll just have to provide you some.
John.
Anyway, that was a clip of Q. All right, I thought it was going to be a little bit more extensive than that, for Christ's sake. But listen, this Q character, the Xantos character, I mean, these characters they all fall in line with what the hell this idiot Dustin, a.k.a. QAnon, thinks he is. I mean, he's a Trekkie. He likes furries. You know what I'm saying? He likes Xantos. Let me read you what the fictional character Q is, okay? Q is a fictional character as well as the name of a race on Star Trek, appearing in the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager series, as well as related media. The most familiar Q is portrayed... Okay, yeah, we get it. Let's just... What is his powers? What does he do here, all right? All right, yeah, Q past is expanded on the trilogy, the Q Continuum, which has Q and Picard traveling through Q's past, witnessing Q's first encounter with the being that inspired his interest in testing other races. This being, known as Zero, is similar to Q in his abilities, but whereas Q has been shown to be more of a merry prankster, you see that? Merry prankster? He's a prankster. Throughout Star Trek canon, Zero is malevolent in his desires. Q ends up bringing him into the Milky Way galaxy through the Guardian Forever, and Zero assembles other seemingly omnipotent beings from the original Star Trek, including the One, the being who impersonated God in Star Trek V, Final Frontier. This group was later defeated. I mean, listen, you get it. He's a fucking prankster, okay? Fucking hate Star Trek. Hate all this crap. Hate all this dork crap. But anyway, folks, this is QAnon here for all you folks that got goofed. And the reason that we kind of had to air this information out, like I said, we cannot allow lies like this and just to accept it. I mean, you think QAnon is military intelligence next to Trump. Meanwhile, he's a 31-year-old furry homosexual poet that was inspired by cartoons who lives with his grandma who has a goddamn record a mile long. All right? I mean, the capitalist army did this because if the right allows lies like this, then we're no different than the leftists, folks. Then we're just going to accept lie after lie after lie. And not to mention, I want to be completely honest with you, our investigations has shown us that this group, aside from Dustin Creek, because he got people helping him. That's the only way that this whole QAnon thing became so popular. He had a group of people helping to promote this idea. But aside from that, folks, we personally believe that this was not only inspired to make right-wing individuals look like shit, but it also was a money grab. It was a money grab, folks, and let's be honest, there's all kinds of QAnon gear, QAnon shirts, QAnon this, QAnon that, and this is what it was coming down to. And look, folks, where's all that money going? It's not being reinvested in the movement. I mean, it's funding lifestyles. And given the criminal record of Dustin himself, I could only imagine what kind of lifestyle that is funding. And by the way, folks, on one of QAnon Dustin's profiles, he admitted to being a gay stripper as well. So this QAnon, has had a hell of a life. 31 years old. A furry homosexual poet who was inspired by cartoons. This is what has to be aired out. I mean, it has to be aired out. We cannot allow this to continue to go on. And I'm glad we did it. But you know what? We tried to let everybody know that QAnon was a fraud yesterday. And as a result, guess what? People aren't believing it. And you see, this is what's dangerous about accepting white lies like this. Because do you see how people aren't believing that, no, it's not true. QAnon, no, it's not true. He's military intelligence. He's next to Trump. He's going to save the world. I don't know what you're talking about. You see how dangerous that is? These people are like leftists at this point. The lie has overtaken them to the point when the truth is in front of them, they're not going to believe it. Just like a leftist. And this is what's so dangerous about allowing people like this, who obviously don't have the same political intentions that they're trying to portray. They're doing it for other nefarious reasons. And so what? Like I said, so what if QAnon is bringing people into the movement? So what if he's, inspiring other people on the Trump train? He is making them no different than leftists. We can't deal in fantasy. We have to deal in reality, for Christ's sake. Now, it'd be one thing if QAnon was doxxed, okay, and he was some ex-military guy like what's his name? The Jester. We know the Jester is ex-military. We know that he, works for the feds, etc. It'd be one thing, if he was one of these guys. It's another thing for him to be a 31-year-old nobody who's got a criminal record a mile long, who lives with grandma, who's a furry homosexual poet who was inspired by cartoons. There's something wrong with that. Do you understand that? There's something wrong with this shit. And I think that even though I'm exposing the truth, which is nothing more than a humongous, lie that was propagated by a group of people, The people that have accepted this lie refuse to accept the truth. And that is what is so dangerous about allowing people like QAnon to exist. Because as I suggested, folks, through our investigation, we feel that these people are all leftists trying to make us look stupid. I mean, that's our opinion. That's our assessment. I mean, especially looking into Dustin Krieger's background, there is no evidence of this guy being anything right-wing. If anything, this guy, he likes to draw art. He's furry. He likes poetry. You know, he likes, he had a homosexual lover for a long time. All kinds of stuff. And that's completely contradictory from QAnon, who he's trying to portray. Look, folks, God forbid, people find out who I am. If you find out who I am, folks, I guarantee you I don't live with mommy and daddy, okay? I'm a fucking capitalist. All right, I'm not out here fucking living like a closet commie, a closet fucking leftist, and doing all this bullshit out here while portraying myself as a capitalist. I'm a fucking capitalist! I mean what I say, and I say what I mean! But by God, this fucking QAnon crap, in my opinion, is a big money-making scam, and aside from making money, in my opinion, they're trying to make us on the right look as idiotic as them on the left. Enough of QAnon, all right? Enough! We called this bastard Krieger because his initial number was obviously put off the hook. He knew his cover was blown, so he put his number off the hook. So we called his grandma, and we called her, somewhat late at night. We didn't know whether or not we were going to be able to talk to the guy or not. We call him up. Grandma wakes up. Hello? And I go, can I speak to Dustin, please? And she goes, you know what time it is tonight? And I go, I apologize, ma'am. Can I just please talk to Dustin? It's about QAnon. Can you tell him it's about QAnon? She's like, all right, hold on. And she kind of goes and gets Dustin on the phone. Dustin, you got a crazy man on the phone. So she gives the phone to Dustin. Dustin gets on. Hello? And I go, hey, what's going on, Dustin? How you doing? Hey, what's going on, troll? How you doing? He says. And I just straight up ask him, are you QAnon? Are you QAnon? And he goes, it's QAnon. I'm calling the cops. And then hangs up the phone. 15 minutes later, we called this son of a bitch back. He already changed his number. He already changed his fucking number. So look, enough of the QAnon. And by the way, haven't you noticed QAnon has been rather quiet as of late? He's kind of taking a little bit of a vacation, huh? He's going to take a fucking permanent vacation. I'll tell you that right damn now. Long live the capitalist army, baby. You understand that? Long live the capitalist army. Oh, man. And let me tell you, for you people that are mad at me for exposing QAnon, don't be mad at me. Be mad at your idiot selves for believing this crap. Be mad at your moronic selves for believing nothing more than abstract bullshit verses on fucking 8chan and 4chan sites, okay? Blame your fucking idiot selves. Don't blame me. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to prevent you from looking like idiots. That's what I'm trying to do by showing QAnon is a fucking fraud. QAnon is a fucking fraud. I should be getting a fucking medal for exposing this piece of shit. He's a fucking fraud. This whole QAnon bullshit was a fucking scam. It was a money-making scam, and it was done by a goddamn furry homosexual poet who was inspired by fucking cartoons. I mean, welcome to the fucking internet, folks. Welcome to the sick, twisted, fucking faggy internet, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the capitalist army. All right, we're exposing the fucking truth! The truth! That's what we're exposing, damn it! The truth! Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm going to move on from this subject, but I want all of you to know that, folks, this person, Dustin Krieger, he has yet to deny that he is QAnon. He has yet to deny. He has messaged me many times on Gab. He's threatening to call the cops on me. I said, go ahead. The cops don't give a shit because they don't. And then when he realized the cops don't give a shit, he's like, well, you're in the crosshairs of Annon's now, Ghost. You're in the crosshairs of QAnon's army. Oh, yeah? You know how many fucking times people have told me that they're going to take me out and, oh, you're being sought after by this. You're being sought after by the autistic black army. Go take a fucking number and shut up, all right? Take a fucking number and shut up! You fucking fruit bowl! You fucking fruity scam artist piece of fucking criminalistic crap! Not to mention, you had $1 million bail, Dustin. Must have had some pretty hardcore narcotics at that little, child care center, in my opinion. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for QAnon, all right? That's it for QAnon. And you that are listening to the sound of my voice, if you know some idiot who is following this goddamn QAnon, slap him in the goddamn face a couple of times and say, wake up! Wake up! QAnon is a bunch of faggots! QAnon is a group of faggots! So anyway, let me move on to another fucking subject matter, for Christ's sake, man. We're running out of time here. I want to talk a little bit about this socialist Puerto Rican slut bag that's out of New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the socialist broad.
I'm a woman from the block. I'm a girl from the Bronx. I'm a girl from the Bronx, bitch. And meanwhile, she grew up in Westchester, and average median income was about $100,000, and etc. She grew up in like an affluent little pipsqueak fucking spoiled brat. Well, guess what? Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Miss Socialist, with her bug eyes and her buck teeth, she's finally getting a little bit of a glimpse of what politics is like. Okay? Hey, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it doesn't matter if you go down and you get all the Puerto Ricans to vote for you in the primary. It doesn't matter. This is politics, man. This is politics.
Do you know what's happening in this New York district? Well, the man that she beat out in the Democratic primary, Joe Crowley, from what I'm understanding, he is a 9-time incumbent in this district for the Democrats. 9-time incumbent. 9-time incumbent. And he was taken out in the primary by Ocasio-Cortez, the open socialist. Now, what Ocasio-Cortez is realizing, that the Democrats, they don't like outsiders. Just go ask Bernie Sanders. You know what's happening in this district? Joe Crowley, the guy who was unseated in the primary by this socialist slutbag, Ocasio-Cortez, is now running third party against Ocasio-Cortez. He's going to run a third party. He's like, look, you socialist bitch, you're not going to fucking unelect me. I'm 9 terms in this son of a bitch. You understand that? Just because you had you and your fucking Puerto Rican family go out and vote for you in the primary doesn't mean that Joe Crowley is going to go quietly in that good night. Yes! Yes, I love when Democrats eat each other, for Christ's sake. Yes! That's right, folks. The socialist slonghead sucking slutbag, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, out of New York, the girl from the Bronx, man. The socialist girl from the Bronx. She gets a third-party challenger Joe Crowley, the guy she beat in the Democratic primary. I mean, you can't make this up. And you know what? Go Joe Crowley. Go Joe Crowley. Go out there and shove it right down that buck-toothed, bug-eyed bitch's Puerto Rican throat. Get her out of here. Get her out. I love this, man. I love when Democrats eat each other. And that's what I keep telling each and every one of you on the left. All right? That's what I told each and every one of you on the left. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm glad. And, you know, Ocasio-Cortez is a little pissed off. She was on Twitter, and she was like, Orale, Boricua, I can't believe you're going to do this. You stabbed me in the back, Joe Crowley. Joe Crowley, you told me you were going to shake my hand and you were going to support me as a Democrat candidate. And now you're going to go third party. I don't like it. You're going to ruin my socialist dreams, man. You're going to ruin my socialist Puerto Rican dreams, man. Boricua, morena, Boricua, morena. Shut up, you stupid broad. Shut up. Hey, welcome to the Democratic Party there, Ocasio-Cortez, huh? You thought you could just kind of weasel your way in being a damn stupid little slutbag bartender from the Bronx, being a socialist? Welcome to party politics. Welcome to party politics, baby. Oh, man. Go Joe Crowley. Mr. Crowley. Dun, 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 dun. Won't you slap that Puerto Rican whore? Dun, 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 dun. Mr. Crowley, could you do it some more? Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, folks, I'm a little excited. It's Baller Friday, for Christ's sake, and I love that this stupid, dumb, buck-toothed, wide-eyed, Puerto Rican slutbag socialist is now on the run, baby. She's like, what happened, man? I thought we were going to be good, man. I thought you were going to support me, Crowley, man. I thought you were supposed to support me, Crowley, man. You're a Crowley, man. That's just so funny, man. It's just so funny. I'm sorry. It's funny. It's funny to me. I hate socialists. I'm going to tell you, in America today, we should not have bitches like this comfortable enough to be running as socialists. There shouldn't be anyone in America comfortable enough to be running as a fucking socialist or communist. Do you understand that? We need to get back to that America, where if there was any communist or socialist running, they'd be too intimidated to run. I mean, we wouldn't allow it to happen as a society, as a fucking community. They should be intimidated. They should be scared shitless to run for anything, any socialist or communist. You understand that? Any socialist or communist should be scared shitless to run in this America. We should make the goddamn political environment so fucking uncomfortable for these socialists or communists that they fear even coming out and suggesting that they're socialist or communist. We shouldn't be accepting these people. We shouldn't be somehow providing credibility to their political persuasion. We should be spitting on these people. We should be throwing them in prison, if you want my fucking opinion. Let me drink some water. I'm drinking water here. What a time to quit drinking, man. I wish I was drinking right now filled with piss and fury, for Christ's sake. And then I'd take a whiz on, well, never mind. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject, all right? This is the last subject I'm going to talk about because we're almost out of time here. I want to talk about Pompeo goes down to Mexico to talk to President AMLO. That's right, folks. Pompeo right now, if he's not already in Mexico, he is in the air to Mexico. He is going down to Mexico to talk to President AMLO. Now, folks, even though President AMLO is a leftist, a supposed leftist, it has been said that he is somewhat positive on keeping industries private. He's not going to just come in and be some tyrant dictator of a communist and nationalize everything. He's going to, keep things in private hands, which is good, which is something that we were kind of apprehensive about when seeing his potential election. And not to mention, folks, where are you liberals going to be when AMLO, the president of Mexico, creates this new border security force, which is similar to ICE to protect the Mexican borders? And that's both the south border and the north border. I mean, where are you goddamn liberals for that? I mean, you all are a bunch of hypocrites, you fucking liberal pieces of shit. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and throw this footnote in there just to show you how hypocritical the left is, okay? Remember the Democrats about a week ago were talking about disband ICE, dissolve ICE, break up ICE, get rid of ICE. We need to get rid of ICE. ICE is horrible. Get rid of ICE. Ban ICE. Get rid of ICE. Y'all remember that, right? Well, they actually introduced a bill earlier this week attempting to try to do just that. Some bureaucrat, Democrat, thought he'd be real cute to introduce a bill, if passed, that would break up ICE. And you know what the Republicans did? The Republicans said, all right, we'll call you on your fucking bluff, you Democrats. All right, we're going to put it on the floor. Go ahead, let's take a vote on it right now. And guess what? The Democrats, who were all out there last week talking about ban ICE, dissolve ICE, get rid of ICE, voted against the bill that their own party introduced to get rid of ICE. Can you believe that? This goes to show you these Democrats don't stand for shit. They don't stand for anything, man. They're anti-American scum. I don't know how many times I gotta repeat that shit, man. Yeah, they introduced a break-up ICE bill early this week. The Republicans called their bluff, put it on the floor of the House, and guess what? These fucking Democrats voted against it because they didn't realize that the Republicans were going to call them on their bluff. And that's why you don't hear that mantra anymore, do you? Huh? You don't hear that Democratic mantra, ban ICE, disband ICE, get rid of ICE. You don't hear that anymore because, folks, everything the Democrats say is a bunch of bullshit. I'm not just telling you that because I'm politically biased. I am giving you a preponderance amount of evidence that proves this. I mean, I don't understand how anyone can look at themselves in the mirror and go to sleep at night claiming that they are fucking Democrats. I'm not even fucking around. Jesus Christ. Anyway, look, back to Pompeo. Secretary of State Pompeo going down to Mexico, going to talk to President AMLO. And look, man, I hope Pompeo emphasizes with AMLO, look, I know you're a leftist, but you could bring economic prosperity to Mexico because, look, we're having a little bit of a trade war with China. You could be the manufacturing base of American goods. And all we'd have to do is we just take the goods from Mexico and ship them right across the border into the United States, undercutting China altogether. And you will be known as the man who brought economic prosperity to Mexico. Because right now, folks, as I've stated many times, Mexico is nothing more than a two-tier system. You're either filthy rich or you're dirt poor. Filthy rich or dirt poor. And if AMLO can create some kind of a middle class utilizing a nice trade deal from America, it'll make him look good, it'll make his country better, it'll make America better, and everybody's happy. I just hope that AMLO has the foresight and the understanding to interpret this properly and to do it, and have the vision to do it. That's all I'm saying. We shall see. Once again, Secretary of State Pompeo going down to Mexico to visit President AMLO. Anyway, folks, we got about 9 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and take some questions out here, folks. Once again, it's a Baller Friday. We talked about a lot of subject matters on this broadcast. If you'd like to ask a question, if you happen to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, go ahead and ask it. If you want to ask me a question on Gab, go ahead and ask it, baby. Any question you want, just make sure it's not a trolley-ass question or something obnoxious, okay? I mean, seriously, sometimes you guys are just, completely off-keister. You're out your rocker. You don't know what the hell you're saying, etc., etc., all right? Let me go ahead and take a swig of this water, for Christ's sake. God damn, I wish I could have a beer, I can tell you that. But, hey, look, I am not quitting drinking, all right? This doesn't mean that I'm quitting any kind of drinking whatsoever. What it means is that you got to give your body a little bit of a break. Let it clean itself out a little bit, then I'll be back, all right? I'll be back to drinking. I just got to stop. I've been doing drinking every goddamn day for 10 years, for Christ's sake. All right, got to do a little bit of a break. I'm just saying. Here, let me drink some high-quality H2O here. Good stuff. All right, first question here. Who do you think will win the World Cup? I don't give a shit. I think the World Cup sucks. I think soccer sucks. And I know the world loves soccer, but, man, it's a bunch of fruit bowls that really want to take it up the pooper, in my opinion, that are mostly soccer players. I'm sorry. I don't like soccer, all right? Do you believe QAnon is an autist as well? No, I don't think so. I think that he may have a little bit of Asperger's, but I don't think he's an autist. He knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, he's a very devious, very con artist type of a fruit bowl. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Can you make fun of Bernie Sanders again? I mean, hey, I'm Bernie Sanders, and there's no reason to make fun of me. I am a socialist. I like that Puerto Rican broad out of New York, Ocasio-Cortez. Did you know that me and Ocasio-Cortez are going to go down to Kansas this weekend? Did you know that? Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Hey, Uncle Bernie, me and Ocasio-Cortez, yeah, look it up on Google if you don't believe me. Hey, yeah, let me tell you, me and Ocasio-Cortez, we're going to go down to Kansas. We're going to spread the word of socialism. We're going to make sure to get the socialist candidate down there, to make sure that we win more socialist members of Congress. We get more shekels. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell Ocasio-Cortez how to use the people and tell them that you'll give them whatever they want. They'll give us the shekels, and there's no refunds, all right? No refunds whatsoever. Anyway, that's enough Bernie there, for Christ's sake. Hey, Ghost, where can we buy Spaten beer? Well, you may have to go to some kind of a specialized liquor store because it's a German beer. HEB, if you're in Texas, if you go to like an HEB Central Market, which is that upscale HEB, you should be able to find it there. It is a great beer. My favorite beer, since I'm going to go ahead and give out a bottle cap with the autograph, my favorite beer is Spaten Lager. Now, the reason I like lager is because I'm a chugger kind of a beer drinker. You know what I'm saying? I'm like kind of a chugging beer drinker, and if I get the Oktoberfest or if I get the Optimator, I drink so fast that, I'll get drunk. I don't like to get drunk fast. I'm a session drinker as well as a chugger. Sorry. I like chugging beers. What can I say? I'm like freaking Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and just, drinking like 3 or 4 beers and just beer guzzling. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. Spaten Lager. And if you bought an autograph, I will give you a bottle cap. I guarantee you I drank that bottle of that bottle cap. I guarantee you, all right? Anyway, let's see. What else we got here? What is your opinion on... I'm not going to say that. What? Any pointers on finding a part-time job? Well, it should be rather easy to find a part-time job right now. Especially if you're a young person. If you're finding it hard to find a job, go to one of these corporations. I mean, it ain't no shame to work at a Mickey D's. It ain't no shame to work at a goddamn Target. It ain't no shame to work at a Walmart, whatever the case might be. I mean, whatever you need, man. Remember, go into a place that, even if you're hired at minimum wage, know that if you're there for about 3 to 4 months that you're going to get an increase on your pay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all there is to it. Is the engineer still working for you? Yeah, he's here. I got him in another room now. You know what I'm saying? I got him in another room, and I kind of feel lonely without him. So we're going to do some things this weekend to bring him back into the studio here. You know, we're at the new place. You know, I got a new place. Hey, engineer. Yeah, I could see him right there. He's right across. There's like a little window going on. Anyway, we legitimately got like a small studio in here. You know, you got to give the aesthetics. Anyway, any other questions here? Once again, if you want a question answered, all you have to do is tweet at me, or gab at me, or say it in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. Have you heard about the Stormy Daniels arrest? Yes, I have. And, you know, from what I understand, she got mixed up in some strip club in Columbus, Ohio, that was actually under investigation for, I think, child trafficking. And I think from what I understand, I don't know this verbatim because I don't really give a shit about Stormy Daniels, but from what I've heard, she shook her tits in the face of a federal agent, which jeopardized the undercover investigation into the child trafficking ring, and that's why she got busted, even though the charges were dropped. So, and not to mention, has anybody seen a pornographic material with Stormy Daniels? I mean, she looks like a horrible-looking MILF. I mean, I'm sorry. I had to go look, all right? I had to look, and I'm like, man, I mean, this looks like some old... And not only that, she does black guys. So I don't know about that, man. I'm sorry. And it's nothing racist, all right? It's nothing racist. But let's be honest. Statistically, you know, black folks have a high statistic of HIV, STDs, you name it. All right? I mean, it's so bad in Dallas, Texas. A couple of years ago, they were throwing billboards telling black folks to, you know, put a condom on it because, what is that? 1 out of 3 black men were infected with HIV, AIDS out there. I mean, it's serious business. So if you happen to be in Dallas, you know, don't relax around blacks, all right? When you're around blacks, don't relax. All right? When you're around blacks, don't relax. That's all I'm saying, all right? All right, now that tensions are starting to ease with North Korea, what do you think will happen with our military presence in Asia? I think that we'll still have a military presence. It just won't be this, like, dominant force on the DMZ line between North Korea and South Korea. We're obviously going to have the military assets in Guam. We're going to probably aid and have some military assets in Japan, Okinawa. So, you know, I think we're still going to have a presence in Asia. We're just not going to have as dominant of a presence in the Korean region, if you will. And hopefully that's for the best. Hopefully that's for the permanent as well, man. Hopefully that's for the permanent. Let's continue going. I'm looking on Gab out here. What changed the Freemasons from what they were during the founding of the USA into what they are today? Well, I don't have the time to talk about that, but let's just be honest, okay? This whole country was founded on Masonry. If you take a look at the grounds of Washington, D.C., there's esoteric symbols all over it. Do you know that there is a 5-pointed pentagram star based on the landscape layout of the White House? All you have to do is just have an overhead view, like if you had a drone view of the White House, have an aerial view of the White House, and you'll see the 5-point star in the actual constructions of the grounds and the streets headed towards the White House. You know the Washington Monument that everybody looks at? That Washington Monument was once 666 feet long, starting from in the ground outward. But the unfortunate part about it is there was an earthquake. Remember that little small earthquake in Washington, D.C.? And that destabilized it and brought down the height of that obelisk. Because that's what that is. The Washington Monument, that is an obelisk which is a representation of the male phallic, the male penis. And believe it or not, if you take a look at the aerial view from where the Washington Monument obelisk is to Capitol Hill, you know that dome, Capitol Hill? The dome in Capitol Hill is the representative of the female breast. And believe it or not, where do they get this type of symbolism? They get it from the Vatican. If you take an aerial look of the Vatican, you will see the exact same thing. A obelisk representing the male phallic and a dome-shaped building representing the female breast. Because, let's be honest, a lot of the esoteric philosophy has a lot to do with, and I don't want to talk like as if I'm getting a little bit too conspiratorial or crazy here, but it has a lot to do with esoteric symbolic magic. And that's why you have, domes and obelisks. Every time that there is a major building that is of power, there's always a body of water. There's always a body of water when it comes to buildings of power. And in the esoteric philosophy, what that represents is the god of reflection, reflecting back on the material third dimension power entity. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's why there's a body of water around every building of power. It's the god of reflection. Anyway, look, I don't want to get into all this stuff. All right, I'm just simply telling you guys that, if you want to get into the arena of spirituality, all right, if you want to get into the arena of spirituality, you have to open your mind and realize that there is symbolism all around you. And a lot of the esoteric philosophy is all around us, and not just symbols, but in happiness as well. Oh, yeah, and by the way, let me go ahead. Thank you very much, Praise Keck. Let me go ahead and repost this. The owl is real big amongst these people in power. The owl represents a god, a Canaanite deity by the name of Moloch. And take a look at my gab right now. If you take a look at the grounds of Washington, D.C. in the Capitol, it is of an owl, and that represents Moloch. Moloch was a deity that represented that you sacrificed your children to this deity. You sacrifice your children to this deity. And let me give you a little bit more insight onto Moloch. I'd like for you all to look in Austin, Texas, because Austin, Texas is a major epicenter of esoteric buildings, esoteric symbolism. Take a look at the Frost Bank building. The Frost Bank building in Austin, Texas was made to look like the owl Moloch. And if you take a look at the Frost Bank building downtown Austin, Texas, which looks like Moloch, Moloch looks down exactly on 6th Street. 6th Street. 6th Street, where all the booze in and everybody's out there just killing themselves slowly. Booze in and we're drugging, we're overindulging. And mostly everyone that hangs out on 6th Street are young children, are like 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So that's why 6th Street is in the position that it's in, and that's why they erected the Frost Bank building, which was Moloch, the owl, looking down on 6th Street, which is everyone's children sacrificing themselves right in front of Moloch. It's all symbolism. It's all right there, bro. It's all right there. I mean, look, I don't want to scare anybody. Whenever I talk about stuff like this, people get scared. They're like, oh, man, Ghost, I don't want to talk about this. When I talk about this all the time in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, And man, whenever I talk about this in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, everybody's like, "Nah, Ghost, dude, I don't want to talk about this, man. This is kind of scary, man. I don't want to talk about this, man. Come on, dude. I don't want to do this. This is scary shit, dude." Hey, it may be scary shit, but it's the truth, and that's what these elites believe. And if you don't believe it, that's your problem. You don't have to believe it, but these elites believe it. These elites believe it. As a matter of fact, let me give you one more, okay? I know that we're taught to believe that there is one God, but there are not just one God of this world. And the Jews know this. You know, the Jews know that there's not just one God. And they pray to many gods. Okay? They pray to many gods. One of their main gods is Elohim. Elohim is one of their main gods. Now, Elohim, the short for Elohim is El. That's why when you are old and know everything and are wise, you become an elder. You know, yeah, this is the El, Elohim, elder. That's why when you're a part of the secret society high class, that's why you're a part of the elite. That's why whenever you're put in a position of power, you're elected. Huh? I mean, I'm just saying, man, it's all around. I could go and do a lecture about this for fucking hours and hours and hours, and I could tell you so much information that's all around us, it wouldn't even be fucking putting a chip in the iceberg. It wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket. And, by the way, let me go ahead and repost this. Here is a picture. Thank you very much, Pickles the drummer. Here's a picture of Moloch, which is that Frost Bank building looking down on 6th Street. And as a matter of fact, you can get your best viewpoint of that of Moloch on that rooftop bar called the Blind Pig. That's a badass bar, by the way. Anyway, folks, I didn't mean to get on this esoteric trip. I don't mean to be dropping red pills here. I know that people are probably getting scared. It's a Baller Friday. This is the last thing that they want to talk about. So with that being said, it's already about 9:40. We're already 10 minutes over time. I'm going to go ahead and close down the show here. But before I go, I'd like to remind everybody once again that yours truly is selling an autograph, okay? And look, these are going to be taken down next week, okay? On the front of the autograph, you've got the 2018 Ghost Avatar. You've got yours truly's autograph. I'm going to hand write every single one of these. On the bottom, it's going to say, "Give me capitalism or give me death." On the back, you're going to have True Capitalist Radio at ghost.report with a microphone avatar on the back. And on top of that, folks, no shipping. And you're going to get a free Spaten bottle cap. Here it is. There it is right there. Spaten bottle cap that yours truly popped and drank as somewhat of a keepsake. You know, it's just something to add to the relic, if you will. And on top of that, folks, I'd like to remind everybody when I'm going to ship these out. I'm going to ship these out tomorrow. All of them. All of them that have been ordered, they're all being shipped off tomorrow. Be on the lookout in your mail for these. They're going to be in a manila envelope, and it's not going to be a huge one. It's going to be a kind of like a letter-size manila envelope. It's going to have, like, you know, decorations on it, because some of you people didn't leave your names. So I'm just mailing it with your goddamn handle on your Gab or on the chat room, whatever. So once again, I'd like to remind everybody, don't let your mammy throw this damn thing away, okay? Because, you know, it's going to be coming in regular mail. That's how we can make it free shipping. You know what I'm saying? Free shipping worldwide. Once again, if you want a autograph, let me go ahead and cut and paste this so that we can have it at the top post one mo again. All right. Here, let me just repost that. Can I repost my own post? No, I can't repost my own post. All right. Right here, folks. All right. It's going to be the first post on my Gab account if you're interested in getting an autograph. All right. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Did it even post? Hold on a second. Did it even fucking post? It didn't post because it was the same post? No, I posted. Okay. All right, just click the video, how to purchase a ghost autograph. Click the link to the video so that you can see the appreciation button, okay? Click the link of the video, gab.ai/tv/watch/18436, okay? Like I said, these are a limited time, man. It's a limited time that these autographs are going to be up, so make sure to get one while you can. Let me give some shout-outs to everybody who's already purchased one, man, all right? Because I got to, man. You guys rock. You guys are not only supporting the show, but you're also supporting Gab as well. Let's start from the very first person who bought one to the last person who bought one. What's going on to Hockey Live? What's up, BN King, Blasphemous Bastard, Decatur in the house, Decatur, Spark Synapse, Man Bear Pig Joe, Jingo Burt, what's up, man? Mule Dog Gaming, C for AR, Metaform in the house, The God of Rage, Stagio, MBJS, Holden Capitalist, Jupiter 9099, Freezing Zakata, TCS2K18, It's Owl, it's _Owl in the house, Australian Capitalist, what up, man? Beer Force, Spore 89, Boundock in the place. We got Ice Cap, MF Bastat. We got Prince in the house, Ghosts Acolyte, Aesthetic Capitalist, Boat in the place, Epic Maga, Curly McWhirly, what's up? We've got Insane Energy, Andrew 40, Capitalist America, Las Vegas in the place. We got Kevin Co., a special shout out to Kevin, who bought 6. I repeat, 6 different autographs. This guy rocks. Once again, baby, cheers, Kevin, cheers. We got the Pet Mexican in the house and Art of Balance. These are all the folks that purchased an autograph. Thank you guys very much for supporting the broadcast, man, because, once again, this broadcast ain't making nothing except the amount of capital that we make on Gab, man. That's it. I mean, I used to broadcast on Blog Talk Radio, and they would send me $4,000, $3,000 a month. But that's all gone, and I don't really care about that, folks, because what I care about is taking this show serious and perpetuating capitalist ideas and making more people right wing of the political persuasion. That's what I care about, man. That's what I fucking care about. Anyway, once again, go to the first post on my Gab account if you want to get an autograph. Click the actual video link and listen to the video. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room and you don't want to miss the internet tomfoolery or any of the esoteric talk that we discuss or anything, man, you gotta be in here, man. I'm telling you, you gotta be in here, man. It's exciting. It's provoking. It's unbelievable, man. It's unfucking believable. So come on down. You want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room? Then go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content. All right, it's as simple as that. Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, please go ahead and message me on Gab. You could private message me on Gab right after you subscribe for premium content and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you an invitation, a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that simple, baby. It's that simple. Anyway, folks, I am out of here. It is a great Baller Friday. I hope that you're having a good Baller Friday. Remember, these autographs are up for a limited time, so get yours while you can, because I'm taking them down this next week. And once I take them down, I'm not going to sell them again, just like I do the other autographs. I'm not going to sell them again. All right? So get yours now. Man, get 2 of them. Get 3 of them. Get yours now. Because once they're taken down, I'm going to put up something else. I'm going to put up some more kind of T-shirt merch. Maybe a pro-POTUS, a pro-president shirt, and maybe another one But I'm not going to release that until we take down the autograph. So get your autograph while you can, man. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in with me. I will be back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please spread this link around like wildfire. Remember, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're listening to the underground, baby. You're listening to the political underground. Woo! Anyway, folks, this is episode number 591. This is Friday the 13th, baby. July 13th, 2018. I hope that you come back and see us on Monday, 6:30 p.m. Make sure to bring everybody that you know, baby. Bring everybody you know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. You better be here Monday, 6:30 p.m. And don't forget to get your goddamn autograph before they're gone by next week. I'm out of here.